Whānau, that guy's Energy here, and I am here at the Sky Tower in Tāmaki Makaurau to check out the new Sky Slide, which is just opened. Let's go check it out. This is their brand new virtual reality experience based up on their main observation deck. It's a crazy ride, offering 360-degree views of Auckland at up to 100 kilometers per hour. The motion platform imitates the 3D rendered open-air slides, twists and turns above the skies of Tāmaki Makaurau. Counting down. Punch it. Let me at him. Hey! Free air. Whoa! Whoever's done the render for this has done like an incredible job. Whoa! It's also really comfortable, like the motion platform's super nice. It's actually really selling all of these like different twists and turns. Another free fall, whoa! Whoa! We're heading home, boys, we're heading home. Whew. So it's $40 for the experience, which includes viewing platform access, or it's just $15 on top of your tower ticket. And it's for ages 8 and up.
Rocat. Experience precision.
Good morning, good afternoon, good evening from wherever you are watching along in the world. We are here for the grand final of the Biocode Labs CSGO Pro League for LPL Season 2 2022. I'm Conky, alongside me is Pilski and Mitch. Again, the dawn is finally here. We're into that grand final.
Yeah, 100%. You know, we went through all the stages of the tournament. We got some of the teams coming through the open qualifier from the grassroots to join some of those invited teams. And we finally whittled it down to the two very best teams in the league. And I say they're both very, very good competitors that we've seen in multiple domestic leagues, playing a lot here in Australia. And I know they're both looking forward to this grand final. And I'm keen to see who comes out on top.
Absolutely. It should be a bunch of fun, some international experience across the board for many of these players, and also some familiar territory for us all watching along at home. So let's sort of dive in. You've already seen the tournament and how it sort of worked, but there is that cash money that the teams are going to be playing for, obviously, during the course of this one. It's a big boy, right? So already we've determined third and fourth, 1,025 being handed over, of course, to Nutty and Antic. And now it's determining who is going to be the difference maker here, taking the additional $5,000 between the 6.5 and 1.5 for first and second, Mitch.
Yeah, $5,000 difference between this best of 5. So about $1,000 a map, or if it goes less than that, then probably a little bit better if you're coming out on top. And I know that we do have one very, very good favorite here, but they might not be playing in peak condition here. So I'm looking forward to seeing if we can get a bit of a cheeky upset.
Yeah, absolutely. Look, they've obviously just come back from overseas, and there's been some discussions. We got to hear from Brace yesterday how, you know, all the various sort of flight plans have been happening, and we got to obviously hear from Hugh as well from DGG, who did sort of, you know, show some confidence. So it is going to be a very, very exciting series at that. So a best of 5, obviously, all the way through. We did have a pretty good, entertaining series yesterday as well. Of course, between the two, you know, unfortunately, as I mentioned earlier, we did have to say goodbye to both Nutty and, of course, Antic, but we did actually get to see a little bit of entertainment on both. You know, this obviously first series, Mitch, Nutty versus DGG. We went to the 3 maps, and Nutty were just bull out of a gate, obviously on Vertigo, whereas then we moved over to a pretty competitive game for, you know, Vertex and Antic, where Inferno got really, really close, but ultimately it was Vertex to walk away with that 2-0, thanks to Hats and Danger on the sub.
Yeah, I think to summarize, Nutty and Antic have both kind of earned their spot. They've done well enough in the league to get themselves into that 3rd, 4th position, but at the end of the day, this league was a bit more of a top-heavy one when it comes to, you know, your big heavy hitters like your Vertexes, like your DGGs. Those teams are going to be very, very difficult to beat, and they did perform and get seeded in that semi-final that way for a reason. So I think Antic like another decent learning experience for them. Obviously, I think that the core four of that roster, if they can finally get some roster stability going for themselves, has some potential to do quite well for themselves, and they have kind of been on the come up for quite a while. I'm waiting for when they are actually going to ascend to that next level. And as for Nutty, I think considering the amount of effort they, have had issues kind of practicing and with player availability, and I think for a team with that level of experience and that level of time invested, they've done quite well with the top four. And look, I'm keen to see them keep competing, or see individual players keep competing. Maybe if they were to, go further afield and potentially invest some more time and onto a bit more of a stable roster, I could see any one of them being a great part of another team as well.
Yeah, absolutely. And it sort of really does open up 2023 for some exciting opportunities. But for now, it is that Thunderdome. So as we mentioned, obviously before, Vertex and Antic 2-0, and then DGG 2-1 over Nutty Gaming. So we do come here, and for all of you watching along at home, it is that best of five. So Vertex and DGG are going to have to take it really, really far. And obviously, Mitch, we were discussing it yesterday. You have to have your map pool kind of well drilled to really understand, what's going to go through on all of these maps and to be able to be competitive.
Yeah, for sure. And I think, look, both Vertex and DGG are teams where the core of the team has been around for quite a while now. This might be like a little bit of a mini grudge match, because obviously the old Vertex core was, Apoc Dud was on the team, and then he did have to go across to DGG after they, had some roster changes for after one of the international tournaments that they went to. So that's a little interesting tidbit to kind of follow along from. But just in terms of how long the cores of these rosters have been together, it's been many, many months at this point. So the map pool should be relatively deep. I would say more deep for Vertex, because they've had A, more opportunities, and probably B, more time invested practicing, especially recently. Before, some of the recent tournaments, we definitely heard from Vertex that this was the first time in a while they've actually had the availability of the players to put some really good practice in and actually get the reps in. And as for DGG, I think availability issues and things like that might mean that it's been a little bit harder for them to get their head around all of the maps, at least to the depth that they might need in this best of five. But look, there's a reason why we're here to test it.
Absolutely. So let's reintroduce DGG again. Most of you guys probably know them pretty well by now, but why don't we just sort of walk through the roster roles as well? So obviously we've got Zeph on at AWP, Apoc Dud, the IGL, Gump, Hugh, and Your Wombat. And we got a bit of an understanding a little bit further, didn't we, yesterday, Mitch, from old Hugh? So yeah. Explained that, Gump doing a little bit of the sideline calling, and then Hugh can kind of obviously, support out and do what he can, and Your Wombat doing the exact same thing. But with Apoc Dud, primarily at the helm, I think as you sort of mentioned, right, we did get to hear it from Hugh. It's been a busy couple of months with some other events going on and some travel, but they are putting in the effort, right? They're trying their best to obviously improve, and this is a team that does have the org backing behind them and the motivation to kind of drive themselves up and forward as the future does plan out.
Yeah, so I think that was great insight that we got yesterday, where team structure wise, I could see many of these players having a calling presence, but you can see Apoc Dud, he's often the aggressive player. He's kind of calling for a bit more of an entry position, whereas Wombat, he's going to be playing a bit more of that middle of the pack, supportive kind of role, throwing a lot of the high percentage utility and kind of being the glue guy that facilitates everything, both CT and T side. And then obviously you've got Gump. I think the reason why he does have a good calling presence on this team, as you see structurally in a lot of other teams, is just the fact that he's often on the wing. You have your swing player communicating information over to the IGL when they're playing that anchor role on the side, on the other side, on CT, and on T side, obviously from the lurk position. You need to be able to relay that information and give that information over to the IGL, and maybe even sometimes make those mid-round calls for yourself when you see a bit of an opening, just to give a little bit more dimension and dynamic to a team.
Absolutely. And now, obviously, Vertex, again, a bunch of players that don't really need any reintroduction, but they are obviously worth having a bit of a chat about, because it isn't exactly a, consistent time in this roster. Sure, Addict has, taken some time away from the team, actually joined, I believe it was Aftershock for a little bit after, I think it was Vexite and Valiance that came into the roster for a short while. Then obviously Forlex coming into the fray much more recently as well, who is a player that's jumped up leagues, right? He's sort of come from maybe that sort of tier 3, tier 2 space, and then very much dived into just straight international prowess. Then of course we've got Brace and PZ on the AWP as well. So a really, really experiencing team. Malta that's kind of got that experience, obviously formerly from Renegades Greyhound as well, to bring it through. So just a really, really solid team that's kind of fighting for, the best in the region right now.
Yeah, I wasn't sure what was going to happen to Vertex after the roster instability that I had for a little bit there. It was crazy to see Addict kind of go into another team where he maybe needed to be a bit stronger of a player than he was previously on Vertex, and it seemed like he just took that and ran with it. And now that he's come back onto the Vertex roster, I think you can make an argument that Addict's been their best player, or at least top 2 player in the team in terms of his consistency. Obviously, like you said, Malta's been a big boon to really help them out in terms of just boosting up their experience and giving them the ability to actually get some of these upsets on the board that you're waiting for a long time. And like you said, Fullx, one of the fastest ascendancies I've ever seen from, amateur competition in a minor region to actually performing in a big game to qualify to go overseas, and then even playing reasonably well going overseas for the first time. I was impressed.
Very, very big statement. You don't often see that, but being able to see that kind of tempered mentality, I think, is really, really important and fills me with excitement for what's potentially the future of some of these players that might be lurking in that sort of, up and coming state at this point in time. But of course, we do have to break down a couple of players as well. So the Biocode Lab head to head will be brought through. Now, Pilski, we did have a bit of a chat about this one beforehand. What are your thoughts, Zeph and PZ, the AWPers?
I think PZ right now, you could make a case that he might be the best AWPer in Australia on form. You can't make that case on results. Obviously, players like Alistair and even probably Ricky have the historic results and the experience where they are definitely much better AWPers just in terms of what they've achieved in their careers. But based on form and skill and impact in the server at the moment, PZ is definitely up there, and he's definitely a scary AWPer to be playing in any situation, even for the best team in the country, which he proved on LAN, only a month and a little bit ago, or a bit more than that. As for Zeph, look, I'm going to preface it by saying that I think Zeph is a really, really good player. And I did even pick him up to play for my team when we went to LAN because I thought he was a really, really good up-and-coming player. But since, the start of the picking up the AWP, it was promising initially. He definitely showed flashes of having skill, but I think as he's kind of molded into the role over time, I'm not really being convinced that he's going to be a very strong AWPer unless his form makes an upward trajectory. I think it's kind of limiting him, and I think he could probably do more as a rifler. So I think when you look at that head-to-head between Zeph and PZ, I'm really leaning heavily towards PZ, and I think having one very, very strong AWPer versus an AWPer who has kind of been a little bit inconsistent and maybe hasn't had the same amount of impact since he picked it up initially, I think that could be a little bit of a problem for DGG, and that might be something that goes missing in this series. But I'm definitely keeping an eye on that AWP head-to-head duels and the initial engagements, especially if we get like a Vertigo to come through, that A-ramp duel. I want to see who's picking who and who's a little bit quicker on the draw.
Yeah, absolutely. A lot of role changes, I suppose, for a lot of these players on DGG over the years. So we will be keeping a firm eye on that one, as you mentioned. And of course, talking about Vertigo, we'll have to see what the maps are going to be. As we mentioned, best of 5, 2 bans, and then basically just letting it all go, letting it all come out here and seeing who wants to sort of pick up what and where. And it is going to be DGG removing Dust to Vertex Ancient. Okay, so I think this is a pretty comfortable space pitch for both these teams. But yeah, it's sort of that argument where Vertex are going to, just by time in the server and time as a team and understanding obviously Brace with a little bit more consistency with that core 3, that he's going to have a real deep knowledge of some of this map pool.
It's quite interesting. I think Vertex are going to be completely comfortable with another team picking Inferno into them. They've had to play against Greyhound and even some of the other teams domestically that have been doing that exact same veto strategy. They've got plenty of reps. They're quite well drilled on the map. DGG has a better win rate, but I'm not sure if that's against the same level of competition. Vertex even played, 0-0 Nation lately and things like that. Mirage is an interesting pick for Vertex. They showed, obviously over on LAN against Greyhound with that massive stomp victory that they were able to get the first time that they beat Greyhound, that they can actually play a decent Mirage, which historically I didn't feel like it was actually a very strong map for them at all. But I feel like lately they've been more and more confident, and this iteration of the roster, they seem quite confident on the map. So you're looking at DGG, the fact that they've lost to Nutty very, very one-sidedly on that map, that could be a little bit of a weak point for them unless they can kind of turn things around. I think Vertigo is a map both of these teams are comfortable with. I think Nuke is a map that both of these teams should be comfortable with. I might be a little bit more swayed towards Vertex, and then Overpass is the biggest question mark if we even make it there, because you just don't get to see teams play it very much. Vertex, their Overpass has historically been pretty good, and they have at least played it 4 times. Only one of them was against a really solid team, though, which was just Encore. And the rest of them were just kind of against middling teams as punish picks, I'm assuming, in veto strategies and things like that. So, I think overall, regardless of what the map pool is, I'm feeling Vertex every day of the week. regardless of what the maps are, because I just think they're a much stronger team at the moment. But as we mentioned before, they might be a little bit jet lagged. They might be a little bit tired. They might not be playing in their best form. So if DGG could hit their absolute ceiling and come out and play an absolutely banger game here, Mitch, anything could happen.
Yeah, absolutely. And I guess I did sort of notice, I think Forlex only landed at about 4 a.m. or 5 a.m. this morning. So let's see how much rest the boy has had. So I'll leave it to you, Mitch, just for one last quick question. On a round of maps, like how many do you think we're going to get? Do you think it's going to be, you said Vertex is a 3-1, 3-2, or do they just walk away with this one?
I think Vertex probably won't be playing their A game in this grand final. And I think probably I'd want to see DGG take one map, and I'd want to see them probably play them close on some other maps. I would probably say you're going to get 2 close-ish maps or 3 close-ish match. Maybe DGG will win one of them, and I think at least 1 or 2 of the maps might be kind of stompy for Vertex.
Sure. Okay. Well, that's exciting at least. Let's see what we've got. But we are going to obviously be starting it firmly with Inferno. Again, as you mentioned, obviously a map that is no stranger for either of these teams. But of course, at the exact same time, we do have to thank the people who do make this show possible. Now, this time it's Battle Drone. And if you're interested, Battle Drones is a startup game studio based in New Zealand. And they're currently developing their debut game titled Red Rock Resistance. It's a 3D isometric shooter game with fighting drones and a range of weaponry. Free PC demo out now for everyone to try. Battledrones.io. If you do want to check that one out, supporting them supports us, so make sure you do. And now as we dive into the fiery depths of Inferno, Mitch, I'm super excited to see this one. It's going to be a fun one. It's going to be a really, really good, solid game. And with Vertex maybe not feeling 100%, as you mentioned, DGG have a real good opportunity to make this competitive.
Yeah, I want to see them really try to push it. I want to see them really try to get this upset. And even though there would be an asterisk on it, it would still be a W at the end of the day. So DGG walking up second mid at this point, not making too much noise. You are getting this 2-man boiler set up in from Vertex. So this could be a very early point of contention here as DGG's doing the little boosts, making sure they can get up in towards apps quite silently.
Already doubled up inside boiler as well. So Zeph could be on for a bit of a rude awakening. I was about to say exactly that. Yeah, so they've waltzed off, completely out-timed. Addict now spotting his way back towards the pit position, so they might have a little bit of space here, but it definitely looks like it's going to be that very, very quick APOP as the utility does start to funnel out of the apartments now. Mitch Peasy inside the pit gets one and a second. Addict going to be able to join him. Oh my word, Addict, you animal. What a great and fantastic start here. Perfect reflash. Addict are absolutely keen, and hey, maybe they don't need sleep. Maybe the jet lag's a good thing. 4 kills to start from Addict, and that was just a perfect little buddy system inside the pit to come out from him and PZ.
Yeah, the double pit. I mean, you think these kind of rounds should probably be favorable for the teams. They're running into the site 5-on-2, but at the end of the day, if you don't hit those quick entries, that double pit setup is so hard to dislodge, and that's a big, big round for Addict. A big statement. He seems to thrive, man. He's like, hey, man, this is a New Zealand league run by the New Zealand boys. I need to be putting on my big boy pants and fragging out because this league, dude, he has been absolutely stomping. He has had some crazy maps.
He was one of those hot prospects, wasn't he, for a little while where you sort of saw him coming up. It's like, okay, I see you.
Dude, and then I'm going to be honest. It's the same thing as when Vexite was coming up as with Addict or a similar thing. I was like, yeah, people are hype. I think this guy's quite average, to be honest. I'm not seeing anything I'm super excited about. And in the previous version of Vertex, I was like, yeah, he's okay. But, I'm not super excited. Since he went to Aftershock and came back, I'm like, this guy is insane. This guy is one of the best players in the country right now.
Well, there you go. Now it's sort of making me think that maybe, you're hyping up Super now. Is he going to end up being really bad? Is it the reverse Pilski curse? We'll have to find out.
Yeah. I mean, most people end up being really bad from Oceania. That's just how it goes. Myself sometimes included.
Hey, right there with you, mate. Yeah. But look, I think it is an exciting prospect. Addict is doing really, really cool things, and we do see some other players who are kind of exhibiting similar things. I do remember, because didn't Chiefs sort of take a step back for a little bit to actually develop Vexite, right, when he was still 15?
Yeah, and then he left. As soon as he turned 18, he or whatever it was, 16, he pretty soon after that left the team. Barely played any events. They waited ages. They waited longer, I think, than they actually used him, which was hilarious.
He was picked up by order, wasn't it, at the time, I think? Yeah.
Oh, well, I mean, when he's playing for Chiefs, that's the thing, man. I don't rate FPL and, stuff like that, to be honest. Like, I do a little bit, but not, and I don't see most of it because I'm not involved in the game. So all of the pros are like, this guy's insane, or like Mac would be like, this guy's nuts. And I just look at what I'm seeing in the server. I'm like, he's okay, you know.
Yeah, I get you.
But look, good start for DGG on this first gun round. It's the anti-bonus. Do have a fair few SMGs invested in from Vertex. So this is where you want to see the T's do a really good job. And I think they've got the right approach here, right? They've picked PZ. They're kind of freezing. They're waiting for a re-aggression. The CTs are incentivized to re-aggress for two reasons. First of all, they've got worse weapons. So in a longer, more drawn-out round, they're not favored anyway. But secondly, simply because they've got a man disadvantage, right?
Little flash off the line, trying to re-aggress into that banana position now. Malta, plenty of control. A big thing to monitor will obviously be Vertex's utility usage. That's what did big things for them on that CT-sided comeback on Inferno yesterday. Another little reflash into top Nana, and now with Malta sort of being left on a bit of an island here, Mitch, it's going to be a tough one. But they still do have that molly to sort of set down. It doesn't seem like they're over keen to head towards B just yet.
DGG is doing a great job of staggering their utility here and just playing the macro very well, Mish. Like, they are using a little bit of util, just a flash to half wall. That's it. And a little couple of steps, and they've drawn out the majority of the util on B. And now they've got more numbers, more utility, and the B exec's going to come in. Simple smoke to Coffins and CT. Flash over the top. Brace doesn't get anything from Flowers. So this should be going the way of DGG every day of the week.
Nice and clean. Probably not even a position where they want to take it here. Hugh catching off Addict as well, so that's really going to cut the rotation firmly. They've got enough money to obviously reinvest in the next one here, Mitch, but I think Hugh, that lurk, has done really, really well to kind of pinch, putting the pressure on Forlex now to kind of grab Brace out.
I think that's...
actually managed to find it.
That's where it's probably not worth it. Like, losing one gun, that's fine, to be honest. It's not the end of the world. He's done enough. He's starting to get a little bit too much. Like, even losing these guns, it's not worth it for DGG, I don't think. Although that last gun made a difference, actually, because you can look at Malta's money. He's at 3K. The rest of the boys are at 4 something. So this is a round where I'm looking at Vertex and I'm wondering if they are going to invest, because they're going to be light on util if they do. A sharp shot from Zeph. Like to see that. Look at what he does with an AK, bro. Why would you ever put a scoped gun in this guy's hands? This guy's crazy with a rifle.
Well, he was very similar to that, wasn't he? Like, he was the young, hot prospect, and then he got put on order in a support role and didn't really get to kind of live into his expectations. So, as is always, right? You know, the really, really sharp player gets an opportunity to play in a good team, but then get put into the support role. It's like Liaz when he joined 100 Thieves Renegades for the first time.
If you can carry Pilski at LAN, you're probably pretty good, because I'm really shit. So, that's my vouch for Zeph. This is going to be an important gun round. Bit of a swing round. You can see loss bonus hasn't built up on either one of them. And they have very little money on both sides. Obviously, DGG, they've got a couple of players up above 1K, but 2 of them are going to be very broke. Flash goes awry, but DGG, again, doing a great job using very limited utility to get results here. There is a bracket take, actually, in the mid round from Vertex. Smoke to mid, molly onto Boiler, and flash over the top, just to be able to retake bracket and disrupt the T's, get the info. Rather than using that utility reactively, they want to try to just make the T's unsettled and just further inform their rotations and their decision-making here. But as we boil down into the A exec, it's only 3 players over here on this A side.
Really keen. PZ has to take a bit of a risk here to kind of go fishing for a little bit, but he's going to be running out of bullets very, very quickly. He does play the anti quite well, but Zeph, obviously good flash. Does allow APOC to take that frag. Now Addict really, really hot under the collar here. The smoke doesn't quite go to the position that he wants it. Does have 4 legs inside the pit to assist. And they're actually just going to wrap straight in towards that side here, Mitch. So they're going to leave these pit members up completely. But Addict does actually manage to drop that one. So that's the bomb going to kind of freeze and pause for just a second. Hugh still inside the apartments. Does some good damage. APOC Dud also still somehow these 2 pit players alive.
Yeah.
Now Hugh trying to find it. Addict does get the swing in the trade. Now into this 1 versus 2. APOC Dud has so much work to do, but they're both extremely low. If he can separate, oh, good. And he does it. Absolute perfection from the in-game leader of APOC Dud. And a 1v3 to boot to close it out. Very strong. 4K. And DGG, yeah. They reset the economy of Vertex here. I think the only one thing I very briefly wanted to touch on was just like Antic, obviously, in this very map yesterday, didn't have that kind of utility approach that DGG are exerting right now.
Yeah. I think, look, different level of team at this point.
Yeah.
But that's a bit of a statement clutch from Apoc Dud. You know, obviously he was let go from Vertex, and I don't think it gets bigger impact than that. 1v2ing to break the CP money, potentially put his team in the driver's seat. There's a swing from all of the USPs in mid. You do not want to be losing too many AKs in a round like this, but it looks like they're starting to get it back under control, Mitch. There's the wrap from Carpets, and that's a good result, honestly. 4 alive. They built up their money quite substantially, and that's going to give them legs on this T side. Vertex now going to reinvest, but it's going to be, I think the richest player had about 4.7 after that round. Let's have a look. Yeah, 4.7 for Brace, 4.9 for Addict. So we're seeing around here, no AWPs, no kits, pretty good util. It's definitely a winnable round, but there's a couple caveats that obviously you're not going to have PC be able to use that AWP the way that he needs to, and or that you want him to rather, and you're obviously not going to, if you go into a post plant, the saving is incentivized 10 times when you don't have that kit for the retake. Especially on a map like Inferno.
We did get to see, obviously, you know, Brace sent the talk straight to Apoc Dud in that interview yesterday. And I do absolutely agree. You know, if DGG is going to be taking an official seriously, it'll be this one. $5,000, the difference in that prize. And now they are going to be looking to take brackets here, Mitch. And it's Forlex. Oh, my word. He's done so much damage there. But it's Apoc Dud with the response again. Oh, my God. But Brace. Oh, what? What was that round? I barely even had a chance to think, to breathe. But it has been 6 rounds, Mitch, and it's already electric here on Inferno.
That's just a case of Vertex. They've done this so often. I mean, that was a lineup, to be fair. That was all going the way of DGG. Apoc Dud triple entries there. But at the end of the day, this is what you need to stop Vertex doing. They are so good at taking banana control, at rotating their second B player over, swapping their jungle player and the B player, and getting in the perfect positions at the perfect timing, cycling utility perfectly. You can see it already here. They want to fight for Nana, so they've already pulled PZ over just to bring an extra set of utility and try to trade here, Mitch.
It's up real close. Malta is starting to fall off, so we will at least be able to find that space.
Yeah, now Brace.
No one boosted.
Brace has no util, so he's heading over to A, and now PZ is going to be playing with the full belt.
Yeah. Good reposition. It's going to be interesting to watch them obviously cycle some of that utility as well over time towards this exact position. PZ playing very forward as well, looking like he does want to sort of take it. But they are still very split up across the map, Mitch, so it doesn't look like all their eggs are in the B-side basket just yet, but they are moving through. Really, really trying to take point here, try and build up that space. They've left your Wombat just for the time being.
You can see what DGG are trying to go for here. They're not actually committing to B at all. They're trying to bait out a response from Vertex. They're trying to punish additional pushes. There's the push in from Apoc Dud. He does get punished. DGG have not budged an inch on the other side of the map, though, so I'm not sure if they're actually committing here. I don't know why they're crossing with the bomb when they've still got 2 players on A. This is a bit of an error,
wasn't it? Like, Vertex just stayed completely stonewalled, right? They just sat in pit, had one at the end of apartments, I think, as well, just waiting for that bomb call.
Yeah.
And only did they start to move as soon as they saw the bomb drop.
I mean, you didn't see the full commit at any point from DGG. And yes, you're right. Good composure from Vertex, but when DGG don't hit those entries, don't get enough of that. I mean, look, he can't even get in the bloody site. There's a smoke at 10 seconds. He's got a player behind him already. Like, Vertex's rotations and util usage is just a little bit too good. And they've won those 2 gun rounds back to back. And now, looking at that clutch that Apoc Dud did, the 3K that Apoc Dud did in the gun round, he is pulling out all the stops to try and win this series right now on the T side. And unfortunately, they still haven't gotten to keep that strong position that they worked for. They are broke.
I'm just sort of seeing what they're actually trying to invest into it here. Nothing at all. Absolutely nothing. So, you know, really not going to be able to scrape too much against that economy of Vertex, which is still relatively weak. But, you know, yeah, DGG just haven't got the opportunity to kind of keep it honest for now. It should be that full eco and hopefully 5 alive for Vertex to get a better position.
We could talk a little bit more about that last round, because you were kind of talking about it where you saw those 8 players dig a jungle side, and they were very much trying to catch rotations, and there was no rotations. And I think that's just the trademark of a team that's very confident in their pit and dig players to crossfire and hold down. And when your pit and dig players are Addict and Forlex, you know, you are happy to leave those boys there. Like, Forlex, even in his old team, was a savant at that dig position. It's literally what, like, we watched him do on the lower level and be like, this guy's legit as hell.
Yeah, it was Arena, wasn't it?
Yeah. Or I think they were called something else before.
Yeah.
Can't remember.
That's kind of along Neo and Keo and those guys.
Yeah, Neo, Keo, B1, B2, etc.
All right. So a bit more forward thinking again, trying to sort of go for that contest, Nana. Molotov will keep them sort of at bay for the time being. They are trying to get much more aggressive up further, but PC's there to defend Malta. Malta does really, really well to get that smoke down and keep himself alive. Nade to hit Apoctar. That should dunk quite well. It does. Drops him down to 35. Oh. So a lot of damage already dealt. And Vertex just walk away scot-free.
I mean, you can tell what DGG is trying to do. They're trying to hit that sharp timing and beat the end of the molly and be able to catch the CTs with nades in hand. But they just didn't execute that well enough. They didn't put out the forward molly. Wombat goes down to 30 HP, gets his head ripped off if the nade wasn't going to finish him off. Now in the 4-on-5, DGG trying to walk jungle side. That is a bit of a missed opportunity for PC, it has to be said. And now with a 4-on-4, two-man setup on the site. It is still Forlex and Attic though.
I was about to say, yeah, the two people that you mentioned earlier, Mitch, to see if they can really lock down this position. Forlex has spotted out Humongous, nice and early, and Attic will be the one to swing nice. Getgum still holding on to the back position. Attic just absolutely punching down continually. 3 big kills. He's going to get the 4th here onto Apoctar, I'm sure of it. Brace does end up stealing it away at the end of the day, but that's Addict. Absolutely fantastic, Mitch. I think he's, what, 13-4 right now? Yeah, he is.
This team side is literally just not trading well enough. That's the issue right now. Apoctar is the only one hitting entries right now and playing to the same level individually as Vertex. The rest of DGG are just not consistently converting these frags enough at the time. Like, you're seeing Addict or Forlex or, you know, Malta get 2 or 3 players without getting traded. Like, you're just not having the same level of firepower out of the DGG players, and they are capable of it, but they are just not, form-wise, consistent as Vertex are right now. Like, Addict, Forlex, all these boys are in such good form right now. I'm skilled Apoctar as well.
Yeah, I was about to say,
not ideal. This is getting scary for DGG. I'm not gonna lie, Mitch. The Vertex boys,
they had to code it for me, mate.
They had a clean anti-eco before. They absolutely smacked that gun round, despite DGG potentially being in a winning position just with that pit site crossfire. And they have now, they're about to 5-0 another anti-eco at this point, which is, their money is just going to be insane for the rest of this half.
The Wombat hasn't even left spawn. Like, that's the position they're sort of in. You can see the confidence from the Vertex boys right now. Pushing into every single extremity.
There's not enough confidence from DGG here. They need attack pause. They need to get the boys G'd up, because right now, people are not hitting their shots well enough. You can just see it. Like, there's only 3 or 4 kills across the majority of the boys. And the only times they've looked competitive in these gun rounds is when Apoctar pulls his socks up and goes in there and snaps a couple of heads off. He's the only player that peaks on DGG right now, and you see Vertex players dying. He's the only one finding impact. They're getting outclassed right now. And it's kind of crazy to say, because a little while ago, Mitch, you would have said that all 10 of the players in the server were pretty much cut from the same cloth. You know, maybe outside of Malta. You know, these were players who were very similar experience. They probably teamed together at some point. They played together, you know, previously. But Vertex, all of their players have hit another level. And I think DGG, they've been a little bit too inconsistent, unfortunately.
Yeah, no, I can agree with that 100%. Apoctar obviously doing a whole lot of the heavy lifting at this point in time, and you know, it just can't be. Like, when you've got individuals that are as good as, you know, your Gump, your Zeph, your Humongous, like, they really need to be stepping up to the plate. Now that Zeph has invested into that AWP, he's almost been taken down as well. Leg shot through the half wall, nade into logs. Like, it's just looking super clean for Vertex. They're looking so well drilled, and exactly that, right? They have really stepped above. Like, Vertex were the team killer for a while, like that gatekeeper, but they have really put into next gear and said, we want to be the best in Australia now.
Post-hack, they've moved PC over towards that B site. Look at this Carps pop though, Mitch. See how this goes.
Close. At least they are going to make a mutual effort. Utility does start to head out now, so they're going to have to push and make sure they do clear each angle. It is Apoctar to at least open up, but that's Zeph taking the AWP down already. Brace still uncleared, unchecked, unbothered, but they're not going out to that position just yet. Apoctar to get the info again, but now Brace spotted. Wombat does manage to catch. A little bit unfortunate there for Brace, and I think this is going to be an immediate save call. Finally, DGG make it work with the app spot.
Another 2K from Apoctar. Like, what can't this guy do right now? He is hard carrying the team on the T side and RGLing. Needs a little bit more help from the boys. That was a good call, honestly, from DGG, though. They read the dig setup well. They've already seen it. So going for that apps pop and just kind of taking a little bit of a different approach, you know, not trying to hit the strong part of the push straight up dig side. Even then, like, you can just see just one of the things that Vertex does better than almost any other team in this region outside of maybe Greyhound is, I would say, Encore as well. Like, Azure in particular does impress me with how well he does that after playing in Europe. It's just the timing of utility usage. Malta didn't expect to open the door, and that was literally that gif of Childish Gambino where he's got the pizza and he opens the door and the entire apartment's on fire.
Yeah, just need to freeze and look at all the faces of the members just waiting there, deer in the headlights.
All right, that's a good round for DGG. That builds up their money a little bit. But like I said, it's going to take more than one good gun round, one good call, and another multi-frag from Apocdud to break the CT money at this point.
Yeah, we need 5 or 6, Mitch, 100% to really sort of put the pressure down and, you know, making a statement. You've picked Inferno. You know Vertex is a region-leading team on this map. Yeah. So it's a statement in its own right.
They're, again, really trying to lean heavily towards this A side of the map. They're confident that they can make that same call work again. It's a completely different setup this time. It's just Addict in pit. You're already... This is the problem, though. Malta gets so much info, gets full Nana control, and then braces on the rotation across. And I think DGG are recognizing that now. They know that if they go here, it's not going to go well for them. They're trying to go for a bit of a Nana retake.
Oh,
that was
spotted him too.
Such a good flash from Wombat to set up Apocdud for success, but Malta bangs him straight through it. And now in the 4-on-5, I think they're just going to commit here. At least the pressure towards Beast, making PZ think about the rotate. But Brace is over here, 4x with full util. You've again got a double pit set up. This is looking good for Vertex.
Really got to clear it. Attic just up on the top of that balcony. Does have a little buddy system set up as well. Once again, they completely forgo the information. Wombat has actually been able to fell one, but they're not going to look at Addict at all. They should clear, yeah. They do at least get the trade though, Mitch, which is a good position, but now they're already looking to force their way back through. Maybe there'll be a little bit of a slowdown as they get this plant on the side.
So winnable. Oh, straight through the box. PZ denies the bomb plant. 4x as well, just swings from Modo's side, and that's all she wrote. It was looking kind of good for DGG. They recognized that they killed Brace, not Addict, on pit side after they'd already cleared out the whole site. So they know that they need to make sure they're trading him out. They did well to get into the 3-on-3, but that's brutal. They lose the bomb plant, and in those kind of tight, close round situations, it seemed like they just couldn't get their composure together enough. You know, you lose someone like the bomb plant planting on site, and it's like the panic sets in a little bit. You're like, all right, am I... it's hard to communicate those situations, you know, especially for most teams in our minor region. It's like, am I hopping on the site? Is Old Mate going to hop on the site? You're both kind of in two minds about what's going on. And Vertex aren't in two minds about what's going on. They're literally sending it. You know, PC gets that kill. Forlex has the confidence to just go straight in and complete that retake before the bomb plant's going down. They're all composed. They're all on the same page. And that's the big difference here.
Sort of like one of those moments. It's like, okay, they're getting the plan. I'll pass it over to Pilski for some analysis for a sec, and then straight in.
Well, that's
easy getting the pick.
This is online casting, man. This is the difference between online and studio. Like in a studio, I could let you have that, but once you give it to me online, I can't give it back to you. It's too hard.
Well, you're the color caster. Remember, bring the hype.
I do bring the hype. That's true. Yeah, my monotonous voice is so good.
Yeah, we love it. But monotone is something that's technical, and that's the pause coming in from Vertex. So we don't have the info just yet as to why that is, but it shouldn't be too far away. Usually relatively straightforward here. But I guess, look, 8-4, good result, good position.
Yeah, it's not good enough to win the game for DGG right here. And they're going to have to win 2 or 3 gun rounds. You know, they're not going to have... They're probably, unless they win the next 2 in a row, not really going to pressure the CT economy too much. So if they want an 8-7 it's going to have to be 2 really good gun rounds in a row. But if I was to summarize this game right now, Vertex is playing the macro and playing shooter mans better, you know, and they're more confident.
The shooter mans.
They're sharper, they're smarter, their util usage is better. They're reading the game a little bit better.
Very well done. Now it has been nice to see, you know, there is at least that little bit of pressure. But still, Vertex showing themselves, you know, it's not like they're just trouncing upon. They're doing the good things or the little things really, really well. And
nice.
Now as that flash goes in, it's Apocdud again, Mitch, at the forefront.
This guy's too good. Thompson is too good, and he's doing the perfect thing right now. He's applying util pressure. He's making it look like they're going, but look at Vertex. Like, Brace sees nothing. Addict aggressors big side. They're not over-rotating, and they're just picking DGG apart. How is someone dead top mid, and how is someone caught in the open top of Nana before they can reconvene? This is exactly what went wrong in the previous gun round, where they're trying to go in staggered all over the place. There's not good spacing, and they're not able to trade these kills.
They're at least poising their way towards this B position where it is only Brace. Actually does start to fall back. Can look to get a smoke down, but as that flash goes up, it is going to really start to put the pressure on. But Forlex is already there, already getting that utility straight back in to support his boy Embrace. 2 versus 4 now. It makes it so awkward. Bomb does get dropped over towards Gump, and they've got the smoke towards Coffin, so at least it does give them some additional time. And now they are watching over towards that boost. This is where Zeph really needs to step up here, Mitch.
Yeah.
You know, talk about how he can't exactly have the impact that is necessary unless he sort of really does start to pick back up. Sitter, got to hit those. Does hit one in the end, but he's already gone down. His teammate's been lost, and it's just nice and easy walk in the park back for Vertex to pick up their 9th here on the retake.
Yeah, very easy retake. I mean, those are the 5-on-4s. You just... oh, they're spamming the 0-0 nation.
That's so good. Bit of heartbreak.
Yeah. Yeah, look. This is where we differ, Mitch. It's like, I've never seen Vertex play better. I want to see them beat 0-0 Nation. And you're like, yeah, you did it. You gave it a good crack, guys. You gave it a good crack, guys. You guys did so well.
I'm literally like, look, because I still don't believe that you should be given, you know, the 12th place runner a medal or anything. I don't believe in that. But as long as it's a little bit of a
it was brutal.
Like
it was brutal that it was single elim.
Correct. And like, you know, it was better than last time, right? At the conference, they didn't really get to show up too much. And now, like, the next event they go back, yeah, sure, it's no tier 1 EU, but at least it's above 10 rounds on 2 maps and only a few small mistakes cost them.
Okay,
So
all right. We've got,
again,
we first picked Malta, Mitch. We first picked Malta. We need to convert. We cannot be staggered all around the map. We cannot be feeding kills to Vertex in the mid round. We need to punish any aggression. We need to get ready for our exit. Oh, the timing.
Did he see him?
I think he did, yeah. The nades coming in. This re-aggroing half full here would, unless they do it right, oh, beautiful. That's just absolutely textbook. That is
very clean.
50 times better.
All right, does Addict kill them all? That's going to be the question here, Mitch, because he's already actually found 2. And now that's the problem. They're both running away. That was 4 people running from one, like, what's he, 5-2? How you...
This jungle position, Forlex is off the line now. They smoke it. Okay. Look, they're doing well. They're doing this correctly, even though they're all knife out there, which, you know, you're right to be critical about. They did have the contingency lurk, and they did just reroute back to the A site once Addict started fragging up. So that's much better from DGG. Much better. The knives out was a bit egregious in the open of B main, obviously, but outside of that was a much better played round. Really, really well done. And they could go for a 6th tier. It's again going to be gun round on gun round, but that was a much better 5v4 conversion than what happened in the previous round.
Yeah, at least they were able to separate, make it a 3v1. You know, they didn't just continue on forward. Call clearly to, you know, send them back, but yeah, I think at least we did get to see some better signs there from DGG. And both teams have a decent enough buy to sort of get the job done, so it's going to be that battle for 6. And I think 6 might be enough to at least give us something, Mitch.
Forlex wanted to molly. No, he wanted to molly second mid balcony. He drops his molly and he gets caught by Zeph. Now PC has to step up, but he's been able to do that. Again, we get a player kind of free peeking without a flash.
Look, brace. Yeah. He's down mid.
He's just missed it straight through the smoke. And this is how Vertex turned around. In the mid round, they're just catching players with their knives out, catching players in the side, catching players peeking without util. Should it be allowed to happen?
Of confidence, like to be able to just say, bugger it, I'm going to push B-Nana.
I mean, he hasn't done it the whole...
Knowing that early... That's what I mean.
He hasn't done it the whole half.
Yeah. Just happy to run with it. Knows that they haven't sent that utility up Nana. I'm going to push Nana.
Bloody hell.
And again.
Yeah. And that's just another round that's kind of been dismantled from first pick. Like DGG have found so many of those first picks, Mitch. Nice shot from Apoc Dard, but on 8 HP, 1v3. Tom's pretty good, but I don't think he's that good.
That is not normally. At least got PZ off the line. Does have the Nah, Malta's got no utility. Never mind. Not going to be too easy. Does make it a bit dicey. If there was the additional frag, maybe there was an opportunity. But look, I'm not sure if 5's enough. Maybe the pistol will sway me a little bit, but
I think, you know, if it is going to be enough, I don't think it's a round issue right now. I think it's a bit of a skill diff happening. And that needs to be rectified. Like individually, I think DGG, now that they moved over to CT, need to start playing individually a whole lot better if they're going to have a crack at this series. Can't be left wanting when you're holding some of these positions on CT side, eh? And I don't think Vertex is going to be given them the same kind of opportunities that they were giving. It's so satisfying though to see Vertex like ascend to a better level and play CS this good. Like so satisfying to watch.
You know, talking back about Brace, like I was the same. I think that was when I did kind of, I never like, because as an individual, he's always been a kind guy. Like I've never had a problem with that. And I just sort of thought, I think it was similar to like Kingfisher. You know, how far was he going to get individually? And, you know, Kingfisher obviously took the step back and went to coaching, and now he's, you know, coaching the best team in the region. But for Brace, like, he clearly worked on in his individual game, and he really stepped up, like absolutely blew me away from a guy who I was thinking was never going to be able to go toe-to-toe with some of these sharp aimers, but he really is now. He's come a long way as an individual, plus he's kind of, you know, bringing the other players up with him, because outside of Malta, none of these players are international superstars that have, you know, been able to do a lot. They are all new individually.
I mean, yeah, and I think Malta... it depends on the game. Like he sometimes does just go into carry mode in big games. Like you've seen it time and time again, even when he was back on Greyhound.
Mate, Renegades versus Tyloo on train.
Asia Minor. Like, and even that qualification game to go over to Mexico on Nuke, he 30 bombed. And he literally went demon mode, and he was just doing all the same kind of Malta things, reading the rotations, clutching up. I think overseas
that went really big, wasn't it, on Nuke?
I think overseas it was really nice of him to play with that really janky crosshair and just let Cold Zero win. Like that was honestly really nice of him. I would have liked to see them win. In the end, they were like, because it was Launders and Scrawny, I'm pretty sure, and they were like, "What the hell is this?" Yeah. Apparently, it wasn't his crosshair, but I still thought it was pretty funny. Is it like some kind of setting that like? It must have been, yeah. The observer wasn't picking it up correctly. You make him think it's your crosshair. Yeah, certainly had them going for a while. The thing is that Malta's such a troll that I honestly would not put him. Like I honestly kind of second guess myself. Like, is he actually willing to tank the performance to like troll to troll people? I'm like, surely not. But it's Malta. Malta would. It's Malta. Yeah, Malta would for sure. Elfish guy will vouch for that. Yeah. All right. Well, we got some Nana control. We're working apps. There is a double nade over towards B, as well as a CT smoke invested. They're trying to pull the rotation off apps, but it wasn't even needed because they've won the duel there. They've picked the apps player. They've done a lot of damage to Hugh. And at this point, in a 4v5, this round is very difficult for DGG to read because they've lost apps control. They've lost everyone on Banana. They're losing every part of the map simultaneously. Oh, very nice shot from Apoc Dard. Narrowly missing the second. If he had hit that, that might have been huge, but it's only on the Gump. They're just going to wrap straight through. We've obviously got the Lurk, who's coming out of the apartments there. Looks like it's Forlex, so irrespective, Gump's just Dunsky. There's not really a whole lot he can do at all. He's been spotted. Found him, so it'll be a 1v4 at best here, Mitch, which is just, not going to happen at all. They've lined it up to absolute perfection. But yeah, Vertex, I think, just played it nice and slow. I love the thing. It's like, whenever you see someone get that apps pick and not just absolutely barrel it out from there, they just sort of go, okay, we've killed apps, so we'll go somewhere else now. That was nice little Juan from Gump. My so Deagle is called Warnold Deegsley. Warnold Deegsley. Jesus. I think I have Deeg skin. I have skins in CS and I never play. I had a look at my knife. Dirty cartoon shooter player. Yeah. I don't have skins in that. There you go. Good from Gump. He's kept the kit. Well, the thing is, he's got light armor, so he can just A1S here if he wants to. If they want to force, he can A1S with light armor and a kit. Yeah, hell yeah, let's do it. Especially Gump. He's got the B spawn. Come on, send him in. Someone send him in. Everyone else. Oh, they were too late to the force.
I hope they've got the utility to throw him down.
Yeah,
there.
Wombat's
Look
got,
like
Wombat's got him
with
flash
him,
for him. Come on, Wombat, send him in.
Nah, not keen, not keen.
Oh, that's cheeky.
Okay, that's pretty smart. But it's a bit of a approach. It's just based to sort of throw out that utility for now. And Nana, rest of the team focusing on apps for now.
Quick bracket take here from Vertex. They molly out Boiler, they molly Porch, smoke jungle side. Kind of wait out a reaction from the CTs. They're not trying to force bracket too hard. And after kind of playing info denial here, they are going to start walking back B. They're you can see just how much more decisive Vertex are as a pack in the mid round than what you saw from DGG on their T side.
Wolfpack, mate. Vertex living up to the name. Now Brace gets that utility down. Oh, that's rough. Gump not being able to quite connect with the bullets that he was hoping for. Wombat at least gets one. Forlex does get the trade. Apoc Dud trying to be bold and goes through for at least one. Malta is low. Kit dropped on Gump's body. Now we do have one moving up Nana. That's going to be Zep. He's not going to clear that. Straight into the claws of Malta. And yeah, all of a sudden, you know, a round that could have been a chance if maybe Gump found something on that opening, but the line just wasn't taken correctly. So yeah, Hugh, hope and a dream as he does sort of waltz his way in. One dark, one new box, one top Nana. They've spotted, they've cleared, and Attic just continues his eternal farm run. 22 and 8. He's planting bloody redwood trees or something. He's killing it.
It's another good game for him. So insane right now. In really good form. Keen to see how long he can keep this up for, to be honest.
He's got the mindset for it. Like, he's happy to be there and also happy to improve. He's young, super excitable, and it seems like with a good bunch of people around him, he's actually, you know, getting the work done. Maybe it just took that time in Aftershock to kind of, you know, completely change, because that team was just 5 individuals that had no prior relationship tossed into a pot.
Yeah. Anti-eco Vertex seems to be going well. Brace getting his eco frags.
Oh, Gump. Spotted. Not going to happen.
He wanted to Zeus Malta. Malta got Zeus last series.
Yeah.
But not today.
Not today. Not happened to me twice. Haven't seen a knife yet, these semis, I don't think. Oh, no, we have. We did see one yesterday. I do remember that nice and early. But overall, TGG now in it with a chance. But as we sort of mentioned, right, you know, I thought 6 might have been enough. 5 makes it really, really rough. And Vertex just continuing that charge, only needing 3 more to open up in this best of 5.
Yep. First gun round for DGG, though. CT side comeback. Not going to be an easy prospect for him. Got a Mac 10 and a Galil. It's not all the guns invested here for Vertex. It's like a pseudo bonus because they've got so much cash from that anti-eco that they can easily reinvest. DGG have got a reasonable amount of control, but here comes this apps pop.
Lining it up. Just that one member in Gump to try and hold down the fort. Looks like there will be the reposition from Humongous on the site. Anti, but it's not quite enough. Nice. He does actually manage to get out of way scot-free almost for this point in time. He's picked up 2 in and amongst the flash. Now Malta looking to clear out as well. Gump does fire a warning shot. Has the smoke down.
Nice.
And it's going to be PZ straight on top of him. Just one by one. Gump is hungry. But he will have his thirst quenched, unfortunately. Now Apoc Dud looking to get back into position. Continuing his good form. Does look to spot out. He actually makes the fake jump. But in the end, it's obviously a different audio cue there. Humongous is going to be the one to swing. And DGG keeps him life in this series.
Yeah, I mean, that's Gump's specialty, really. Those site anchor positions here so good, and that's exactly why. See him lock everything down. Good little swing position from Apoc Dud to come in from the side and try and disrupt as that exec's happening. That's the first of 2 that they'll need to pressure the money here at Vertex. So we need to see them close this one as well, DGG, but that was a good start. 4 alive. Oh no, Zeph pulled the trigger first, but unfortunately, I don't know where that bullet's gone. That looked like it went right through him, Mitch.
There's been a few of those that I've actually noticed. You know, is it that country ping, or is it maybe just that like slight step off the mark or something that sort of throws it off? But
they traded back.
He's had a few sitters.
Now Apoc Dud's got the ult, which I don't mind. He's going to drop off all the utility for Wombat and head over back to A. Vertex, though, they've cleared out bracket. They know that the info's quite limited on A. Malta's going to maybe throw like a bit of a fake here, maybe try to apply some pressure or go for a late lurk in through jungle side. Kind of keen to see what he does with that smoke. He's not using it over on A. He's going to head back towards B, and looks like Vertex busts straight through.
Wombat forced back. It's getting a little bit of a sweat on here. Molotov will keep him at bay for the time being. I do actually think they've got something to try and force Brace off, but not deep enough. So they are going to be able to get this plant and set for the retake. It's going to be a tough one though, Mitch, on this B site, 4v4.
Yeah, this is how you cook your own money if you go for this one. That's a nice pick from Gump. Apoc Dud got spammed through the smoke in the meanwhile though, so back to 3-on-3.
Do have the kits, at least something to kind of work with. 3 flashes to do, and Gump getting another straight through that smoke as well. Now they get that forward positioning, noticing it back, and it's Gump all on the train once more. Choo-choo, Addict does hold on though, 1 versus 3. We've seen him do these before, but Wombat's going to be able to swing, and they do have the time. So DGG, yeah, they rise above and they can continue to at least hold on for now.
Yeah.
And the money is just not good enough. So we are going to be able to see at least a save buy from Vertex.
Yeah, they'll half buy here.
Gives DGG an opportunity.
They'll half buy here. They want to try and take at least 3 guns. They could even hero AK on someone if they want to. Try and do a bit more economic damage. But yeah, definitely techie armor and util is the way to go. Because they took 3 guns off DGG there. They want to take 2 or 3 more and keep that money low so that when they go to round 22, they have that reset potential. And they've chucked themselves a smoke to half wall. They're going to start walking up B here. Need to see the protocols and the reactive utility from Wombat and Apoc Dud be on point here.
Just holding on. Slow walk. Apoc Dud very, very far forward. Good flash. Nice and deep. Makes it awkward. Molotov does go down, though, quick enough. They are going to try push into CT, which allows the old leader of Apoc Dud to get a few more kills to stat pad slightly. In amongst that eco. That does actually get his head ripped off. Addict just continuing to do bits here. Hey, 24 and 10. Even on the rounds where the pressure is applied, they still manage to force a bomb plant somehow here. Apoc does swing on in though, and he should be able to find 4 legs as well. So yeah, he's doing really, really well. 21 and 15 for Apoc Dud. So DGG is still making this at least somewhat competitive. You know, I'm not losing hope in the series in its entirety. Vertex are still in the driver's seat, but DGG is kind of saying it's my turn now. I need to put my hours up.
Oh yeah, DGG, they're doing well. Still got a couple of players struggling individually in the server, but Gump starting to step up now. Apoc Dud still having a reasonably good game. They've at least solidified their money a bit more, Mitch, so that's going to give them the legs they need to continue fighting for this game. But the issue is they have very little room for error, and now Vertex is starting to max out on the loss bonus. They're going to have to play so many gun rounds. Changing it up, though, DGG. What is that from Addict? He just keeps getting these ludicrous kills. Like that shot on U-Box. That's the 2nd round in a row where it really should just be a kill for the DGG boys. They've recovered nicely, though. Nice HE for Apoc Dud to clean him up. Then a shot from Zeph on B. Gives them the man advantage. But the issue right now for DGG is they just have very limited info on what's happening. They're pinned back on the A and the B site. So they need to trust these high percentage setups and play off of each other well. Because if you get a clean entry for the Ts, this is still so winnable for them.
Just set focus. You know, a couple of rounds that they can give up before they even have to start worrying about overtime. Is on the favored CT half. So just slowly chipping away. Humongous spots out the dig position. Malta yet to sort of reveal himself inside the apartments, but they are up and they are moving, Mitch. Really going to be onto your Wombat to try and lock it down here. Peasy overwhelms and so does Malta. Now it's back on a 3v2. Like, this was an unwinnable round almost for DGG, it feels like, with their positioning, with the HP. But now they're just starting to drag it back here. It's going to be so awkward to retake.
They've got numbers in that situation, but you just look at the CT setup and it just doesn't fill you with enough confidence. And the players individually, they're just not playing well enough to lock that site down. Unfortunately, that's just the way it is. Like, you know, if that's 4 legs and Addict on the CT side, I'm saying that site's pretty safe. But Vertex able to scale in. You can see how low some of these players are, but the kills are just not being converted. And unfortunately, you know, that lackluster positioning, the individual form, means that the 3-on-2s into that A site are so winnable for Vertex.
You can just see the immediate hesitation as well. You know, that smoke goes down towards motorway. Apoc Dud all of a sudden just slows the walk, and Zeph moves into CT. So yeah, no confidence really. 5 and 16 for Hugh, 6 and 17 for Zeph. You hate to sort of point out individuals in this sense, but you know, looking over to the other side, Shaw Malt has been a bit more quiet, but you know, he was at least able to do the job that was needed of him, and the rest of the team's kind of been firing off all around. So 6 the difference now, 14-8. Vertex edge closer to victory on this opening map. Remember to you all, the Biocode Labs CSGO Pro League Grand Final going in hard as Brace takes a bit of damage early on.
Good HG combo. Nade to bottom mid as well. Addict picks up Zeph early on though. So that's going to be that player in Boiler, already dead to rights, and the man disadvantage for a situation for a DGG who is on the verge of reset and facing down map point here. They're stacking towards B as well. This is probably going to be an insta-save, I would say. Gump, you back him to get 1 or 2, but from that position, this round is probably Dunski's.
Yeah. At least if he gets 2, maybe there's a chance, maybe there's some hope, but he's got his crosshair high and...
That's a save.
Yeah, done. Immediate.
All right.
No other chances.
Tell us the story of your life now, Mitch, you know, because we've got a bit of time at this point. You know how Inferno goes.
Yeah, I'm just wondering how to summarize sort of surfed, and worked insurance, got fat.
Got fat. Nice.
Video game casting. Now trying to be less fat and lift Olympic weights.
Right, so is the surfing in-game or out of game?
Out of game. Okay. I had big curly hair. You know that like puka shell necklace kind of stupid thing? And yeah, actually was outside for most of my life. Then I found Call of Duty sniping.
Oh, yeah.
Now I'm here still casting the video game.
Nice.
15
Did
years
you
later.
hit a 6-360?
I did. It was mad.
Oh, that's fucking awesome.
FaZe Clan trials, man.
What about you trial for FaZe Clan?
Yeah.
Damn.
What's the story of Pilski?
Oh, I don't know. I used to play with someone who's in FaZe Clan, but he was alright. He was alright.
He's not in FaZe Clan anymore, silly man.
Oh, why?
He edits Fortnite videos now, did you know?
Oh god.
But he's probably making more than us.
Look. Everyone's got to make a living somehow. We
love him for it.
I'm sorry that you had to do that. Unnamed person. Anyway, you did get the buy here for DGG.
Addict's almost on 30.
Yeah. Last chance here for the boys on their map pick. But obviously, as we discussed, definitely no slouch on this map is Vertex. There is the bust. That is exactly what DGG were trying to do on their T side. Like, it feels like everything that Vertex is doing, or that DGG tried to do, Vertex is just doing a better version of it. And that's just a 3K to win the game for Brace.
Well, that's exactly right. You know, APOC Dud trying to take those frags, being the entrying IGL.
Yeah.
Brace says, I can do better. The counter, the responding flashes as well coming in from PZ and Forlex. Like, Brace is calling for that one, saying, let's close this one out. Forlex is in position, should be able to drop Humongous. And Mitch, I think that is what we call good game, right? Even though, you know, maybe DGG might think BG after that one. But at the end of the day, it's a very, very strong start from Vertex. And I don't think we can really feel much of a surprise, right? This is one that we know that Vertex are very, very comfortable playing on Inferno. And whilst they did kind of look mortal for a little bit, they've ascended above and been able to shut out DGG pretty strongly in this opener.
Yeah, I think it's brutal. It's brutal the way that it's played out because end of the day, like, Vertex was just a much better team individually. In terms of the chemistry, in terms of the macro, and their form has been able to show us, you know, just how good they've got. They've got themselves some overseas opportunities, and they beat a team of players who were essentially their peers. You know, all of these guys were, cut from the same cloth, as I was saying, but one of them, I would say, has just hit better form. You know, Vertex, a lot of these players have hit much better form. They've shown a lot of improvement over the last little bit, and you know, DGG, I think they're going to have to step up to a little bit better of a level to be able to be competitive in this series, because I was expecting Vertex to be sleepy. You know, Addict probably just got off a plane not that long ago. You know, Forlex probably a little bit sleepy. And they're not looking any different. They're looking like they're in very, very good form. So this is going to have to be a break to recuperate for the DGG boys, and heading on to Mirage, you're going to have to be pulling out something special, Mitch.
Well, speaking of Mirage, obviously we will be able to move over to everyone's favorite pug map in not too long. Is Vertex going to be able to keep up their form, or will DG wake up and smack back to take us to a third? We'll find out shortly after this break.
Laying ground Whoa, Neo, you're not playing like a noob anymore.
How is that possible?
You gotta be using hacks, dude.
Nah, dude. I got the Odyssey Neo G9.
Sweet, bro, you can finally start leveling up.
Let's keep it going, man.
This is gonna kill me.
Good day, all certified Counter-Strike enjoyers. We are here again in the grand final, about to line up for map number 2 between obviously Vertex and DGG. 16-8 coming out really, really strong for Vertex on Inferno. Familiar territory for them as we are now going to line up towards Mirage. And Pilski, as we sort of did allude to earlier on, you know, Greyhound actually got felled by Vertex on this map not too long ago. So that's a bit of a statement to be made here moving into the MCG of Australian Counter-Strike.
Yeah, 100%. I think, you know, the only time you've seen Vertex lose Mirage recently was obviously over, you know, in Mexico when they were playing 0-0 Nation. And they're still able to take 12 rounds off them, which is, you know, I guess playing against the international team that just qualified for the major. Probably going to be a pretty decent prospect for an Oceanic team in context. So I think now looking across at DGG's results on Mirage, you can kind of see why Vertex have picked it. It's a bit of a punish pick in a way because DGG have lost to both Rooster and Nutty on this map recently. They've also beaten Nutty and played Antic reasonably close. So, you know, they can definitely play the map. They've got the reps on it, but can they play it well enough to beat Vertex? Do the maps even matter? Because I think the bigger concern right now seems to be the fact that there's just a bit of a skill diff in the server, a bit of a team diff, and Vertex is playing at a higher caliber. And I know that the ceiling is there for the DGG boys, but lately the consistency has been mixed. We know that they just haven't had the amount of practice to build out that consistency and build out the you know, individual consistency and the playbook as much as Vertex has. So look, they've got a very, very tight turnaround to be able to bring out some very, very high-class Counter-Strike, or this is going to be a quick grand final.
Yeah, for sure. I think I can totally agree with the sentiment of DGG. Like, it needs to be very much a 5 players in the server at any one time, right? There's not really sort of anyone that can, like, Zywoo carry by any means or anything along those lines. It really seems to be sort of, you know, unless all 5 are really turning on at least 4, they do kind of fall by the wayside a little bit to some of these more experienced teams, right? Which is exactly what we're seeing. We've made the conversation about how Vertex really has put into the next gear, stepped up, have stopped playing for 4th and 3rd place. They're now taking for that top spot. And after being able to at least take a scalp from Greyhound, right? The first time we've actually seen, I think, like a victory over Greyhound to qualify for an international event in quite some time. Yeah, like, because obviously, you know, we did see Encore LFO like get an overseas stint a little while ago, but that was when Greyhound was actually playing in something else, I believe. So they kind of got an easier run.
I'm not sure if they beat them head to head, but I know that, yeah, you are right. Definitely some of the opportunities they got were just, you know, right place, right time somewhat.
Correct. Yeah. Which means that Vertex have really sort of shown themselves as one that can do it. And I'm very excited for that into some of the coming time. But I guess, you know, to break down the game a little bit and what we've got in the rest of this video, obviously, Mitch, as you said, there's not really any kind of question marks against for Vertex. It's more DGG just like, are they going to be able to recover from that one? I don't think it was such a jarring blow to them on Inferno because they did show some signs of life, but Vertex seemed to be very much in the groove of things.
Yeah, I think, Mirage is going to be an interesting one. Not a huge sample size, only 3 and 4 games respectively for both these teams, but both of them very heavily CT side win rate. Both of them win 75% of the rounds that they play on CT. So Vertex going to have to get rolling early on that T side and see what they got for us, I guess.
Do you reckon they'll pull out like the double AWP or something, that DGG side? Should we sort of see that? Because as we did talk about, right, like Zeph, hit some shots and he had some moments, but just sort of very felt like, he was getting traded out super quick and they were just able to punish nice and easily, Vertex.
Yeah, I don't think AWPing is like DGG's strong suit, honestly. I think, you want to see them playing mostly rifle-centric, I would say. They play well off of util. They're kind of, they're not that different from Vertex. It's just, Vertex can lean on the AWP a little bit. I think they have, when they're playing well, a lot of the same kind of skill sets of Vertex, where they're like, playing well off of utility. Their chemistry is good. Their players are quite solid individually and can play quite dynamically. So I think if they're going to be winning, you're going to need to see across the board, like you said, across the board performance. They're all going to have to step up and they're all going to have to be, playing well individually to their skill sets. Like small example would be, you want to see Gump on that B side of the map going for the B abs pushes and playing to his strengths. And all of those players have those individual things that they can do well.
Stepping up to the plate is exactly what DGG are going to need to do as we move now into Mirage and finally sort of dive into this second map of the series. And of course, whilst we're here and flying around, we do need to actually talk about some sort of flight with the Roccat Burst Pro Air, a lightweight optical wireless RGB gaming mouse available now. Make sure you do check it out. Obviously a gig. Massive shouts to Roccat for supporting the show and allowing us to do what we do in the LPL state. So yeah, Mirage, very kind of open map, I suppose, for a lot of these teams. So many people feel comfortable on it, but realistically, it will just be about that T side. We saw Nutty really, really struggle yesterday when they were facing up, obviously, against DGG. So will we be able to see something similar for them? Can they really kind of show up here, starting out on the CT side, DGG?
It's like Vertex pretty heavily moving over towards that B side of the map. We've got a couple of P250 drops coming on in here for the boys. PC at top middle. Brace looks like he's got that market window smoke ready to go and a couple of flashes, but with the player heading towards underpass, this is probably not going to be a B commitment, I would say.
Do get the cheeky little spot.
Maybe they're going to split short here.
Yeah, util over. They don't seem to be overly convinced on towards this position here. Do hold on. Gump does get a couple of shots off, but he has to reposition back towards the site. Does actually no, it's your Wombat to take down Forlex. Gump also getting Malta. Attic does respond with one. Peasy up towards short on the pillar. Apartments control, though, still not yet found. They are actually sending the bomb back here in the hands of Brace. He's going to drop underpass, and I think, yeah, you could be right, Mitch. He might actually be able to find that position, find that control. Addict is here poised to keep a little bit of a focus, but we also do still have that member of Humongous over towards CT. Great shot from Peasy as well, but they continue to fight. They continue to battle, and they've actually responded really, really nicely. But they do still need to overwhelm that member inside CT. Brace has still got the bomb in towards the jungle side. Addict's made quick work of him. Your Wombat walking on in. Brace actually does lose it out here. That's the bomb drop, Mitch. I think that might be a bit of a blunder, but your Wombat is very low. It's going to be hard to overwhelm.
Yeah, I think just because he's so low HP, it's probably not going to matter too much. That is an inconvenient spot for the bomb to be dropped. They want to try and double up through the murder hole if possible, but confidence from PZ to just crouch on in and grab it.
Oh, he's gotten B.
Yeah, not too concerned about it. Wombat not really guarding the bomb, maybe not feeling like he has the HP to be able to take a heads-up fight even in such a advantageous angle. And obviously he doesn't know that the positioning of the T's, like you could have one of them wrapping through A, etc. Fortunately, it's not really going to matter too much. Lot of P250 investments for Vertex there end up paying off in spades. A 3K for Addict on the P250 without armor, and PC gets 2 with his P250. So when you don't have those long-range weapons, you can just purchase them up. Almost kind of 1.6S where you would buy yourself one or two of the boys a longer-range pistol on the T side.
There you go. PZ always making big things happen with that P2. And Addict also getting the opener up here. So DGG investing in. Hugh's got that scoot. Will it be enough?
Well, this force buy not kicking off well for DGG. Vertex obviously find that initial pick over in B apartments. They are just freezing here for the most part, Vertex. Waiting for DGG to over-aggress, over-commit. DGG, in the meanwhile, going for a bit of a B stack, which could probably work out here, Mitch, if there is a short split. And honestly, B short split, anti-eco or anti-force is a pretty high percentage play. So I actually think this is a pretty heads-up call from DGG.
Yeah, seem to be very, very switched on to it. Happy to gamble the position because the bomb's still yet to be committed completely over. They are sort of now working towards that position, but if they don't overcommit, they might be able to at least find some space. There's one. Humongous. Good shot. Wombat now has to move in, get really aggressive. He's forced off the line, throws a couple of wild shots. Humongous actually gets another. So does Apoc Dart. They're doing really, really well here, but there's that call immediately running out, but Apoc Dart, he's done it. He's stopped the cross, and he's actually dived a little bit too far forward. Wombat now has the Galil, has the space, has the HP, but Brace, he's been able to pick up that bomb, and he is booking it straight towards A.
And these guys are roommates, so they could literally be yelling at each other and bantering each other at the moment in the clutch. Probably have different roles.
And they were roommates.
And they were roommates, yeah. But will they be roommates after this 1v1? That's the question. Or is this going to break their relationship forever?
Slow waltz. Brace with the molly. Actually can toss that one down if he does want to. Full defusal with that kit here. And I think Brace has got the timing. He should absolutely know this. He can just look. Doesn't even need to use the molly. Spots the back of the head and whips it down. So DGG at least put the pressure on. But yeah, they do manage to get out of there. I think Apoc Dud did not expect that second member to be in towards CT. So he dove into market. Tried to pick up his groceries from the local spot. But inflation's hit him pretty hard. And he just dropped dead in the position.
Yeah, they just made a Woolies right near my house. So I know the feels. Just built it up from scratch.
You said it's very well set out though, right?
Oh, dude. When they make the supermarket, you know it's just all going to go downhill after that first time. That's cute. Level 2 flash play into a ramp, trying to send the boys in and isolate a T on the lurk over there, or maybe catch them doing a bit of an exit. But not to be for Vertex. That A defaulter is in Palace, and the rest of the boys are working middle and B. So not much to be had here for DGG, unfortunately. Except maybe if Gump can get zapping. Oh, almost.
NT.
Yeah, that was an NT. Vertex off to a good start on this map pick here, but let's wait till we see a CT gun round. I think, like I said before, both of these teams much stronger on the CT side. You know, obviously a small, like I said, small sample size, but at least from what I can see, both of them quite CT biased on this map in Mirage. So if you see DGG fail to put many rounds on the board CT side, you can probably call it game there. Whereas Vertex, obviously, they're off to a good start T side. They got that pistol win. They completed the anti-force and the anti-eco and went into the first gun round with good money. So they're already doing quite well for themselves as far as the T side's concerned. And I'm already liking the call. They got a couple of Galils and they're just going to keep this round super simple and go for a bit of an A set play.
Poised. Waiting for any sort of level of reaction. Still got that lurk up towards top mid to just wait and see if anyone does sort of focus in. Still.
Oh, they actually cancelled. Interesting.
Yeah, straight away.
I wonder what made them cancel. Be interesting to know. So I wish
It's a costume party. They don't want to go anymore.
Yeah, I know that feel. You're feeling it, but you know it's been a big day at the office, and yeah, it might be a little bit too much to be honest.
Yeah, it gets to like 4 p.m. Oh, gotta get dressed. But they will dress their way out mid at least. Try to gather what they can. This sort of late approach to the position. Wombat gets his head ripped off. So that could just be straight hightail up towards B. Mitch. There's only going to be Gump to try and defend. And he does at least get one. So that's going to be a good hold on. Yes. They are just bootsing it straight on out. He might have done enough here, Gump. The rotation is going to be hard to get around, but it's still a 3v3 at the end of the day.
He did so well, but it's just not enough, unfortunately. These B site retakes are a nightmare. They've got no flashes to get in. They've got no kit.
No kits.
Throwing away these guns would be kind of suicide here for DGG, honestly. You should really be saving.
Pull away.
Yeah, I think Wombat Wombat, you know, holding a flash from mid in that position after the util that he's seen is a bit of a head scratcher. Gump's done well to get the 2 from the Bianca roll. That's what Gump does best, but unfortunately, when the rest of like you see this all the time, and honestly, this is usually the story for Aussie players when they go overseas, is like you see just how good the players can be, but when the macro of the round is going against you so much, it just doesn't matter, you know? It's like, yeah, Gump's a
How
good
they react to sort of
Gump's a
pressure
good
positions,
B-side
you mean,
anchor,
right?
but it's like, yeah, that's 2 is not enough,
Yeah. Okay.
unfortunately.
That makes a lot of sense. Yeah. It does definitely feel like, you know, how many events have we watched, even with your Greyhounds and your Renegades and that, like, you know,
Yeah.
you go to Inferno against a tier 1 team and it's just save simulator.
Yeah. It's like when the macro of the round is just not going well enough, that's going to be all she wrote. At least they saved and they can reinvest here and give this round a crack. And Vertex, again, going for this A set play that they cancelled last time. So this time there has been no A ramp aggression from DGG and they've opted to pull the trigger.
Yeah, 1 CT hold. That's all it is from Humongous, and he's going to be smoked off that line immediately. They've gone for the deeper smoke into the jungle. Hugh actually might try to play around with a go here. Apoc Dud has tried to flash his way through, but Hugh hasn't overextended here. Forlex has got a very, very forward position just onto the other side of the ticket booth, but Hugh's done really well. At least got some info. Now they're actually forcing their way over. He's got away free of charge here. Wombat and Gump have responded very, very nicely here, Pilski. No bomb planted yet. Brace punished by Gump as well. Much, much better round from DGG here to get their way back in, but PZ, he's still alive, and you know he's pretty nuts at the video game. One member over towards that CT position, and they'll sit up on the top of the ticket. So there was a member rotating over from jungle. He actually does head CT, so all 4 we're going to be battling from the same area. So you got to be happy with that result there. Nicely done from DGG with a good response.
Yep. Good time for it as well. They survived with 4 alive, which is going to cement their economy for a little bit longer, and that's going to be necessary because you can see Vertex. This could be the soft reset for them. Hard reset on a couple of these players. Oh my god. PZ. What is going on?
He's pretty good.
Oh, that's a nice response though. Like, it's just so weird to see like these random like free peaks, the walkout A ramp there from Malta.
What?
This is a weird round. This is just a very weird round.
Trying to take a couple of risks. Going to be really awkward for Apoc Dud now. No smoke to get him out, so he's just going to have to try and peek for it. He's actually going to go 100-0 as well. Addict gets it.
Oh,
in the end.
make it stop. Make it stop,
yeah.
bitch.
This is like, we haven't really had any like really F tier rounds, but that's one of them.
Let's go, Gump. He's read the underpass push well. Read the TV room boys well. He knows where Addict is. Hugh now in a 1-on-2.
Is it enough?
It might not be. I mean, Hugh, he's got the info. He can position himself really well here at MBK. Has he been spotted on the cross, though?
Oh, I don't know if he did. I don't know who spotted who.
I think Addict spotted him.
They are clearing around, though, like they know it. Yeah, Addict with a 4K. My God.
That position as well. It's like literally playing nowhere. He's just playing in the open.
Confidence is key. But yeah, look, I think they gave it a good crack there, but nah, at the end of the day,
that was
nice and easy for Vertex.
I never want to watch that round again. Never again.
Yeah, as I said, it was very scrappy, and I think even they would know it too.
Yeah.
No one's going to call that one up for a good round.
It's like they almost get caught strafing cross window, and then they cancel the ladder boost and wide peak PC. It's like, come on, bro. That's never going to work. That's never going to work.
But it did work, man. That's why you should invite me to FPL.
Well, they should all be in FPL at this point. I think the problem is as well, yeah, Hugh was playing close ramp, so he can't really facilitate the mid peaks. Maybe one of the B players could have offered a bit of util. I'm not sure.
Oh, well, we'll have to throw that one by the wayside for now. Castle flash over. PZ's going to keep his poise for now. Just sitting top mid, waiting for that util control. Vertex, yeah, they do seem to be pretty happy to not push the extremities in the first 20 seconds.
There you go. See you later, Brace. That's, I've been calling DGG out for it. That is, unfortunately a case where Brace has just given them first pick and thrown away a belter util. And it's not even that uncommon that DGG go for ramp control and ramp aggression. Addict is literally got to be the most BS player to play against right now. Like, the kills that he's getting in this series are just unreal.
They've done a lot of good work here, though, DGG. They've responded nicely. Now they just need to not throw the kitchen sink out.
It's a 2-on-4 against PZ and Addicts. It's so losable.
Yeah, always. Now 1v2.
They've done well.
But, good swing from Humongous. Yeah, nice and reactive there. Managed to collapse quickly, not feeling the pressure, not feeling the sweat.
That's so
2
big.
alive's not too bad. They got the AWP as well.
They broke Malta embraced a double eco. That's a really good round for DGG, where that A-ramp aggression has worked well for them. So big ticks there. They should know. They should be able to read the money and know that this could potentially be a force. So you really do not want to see DGG be greedy with their util in a round like this. And I think that, you know, as far as DGG is concerned, against an AXE, they should know exactly how to approach this retake. Zeph, you know, he might not even get one on the cross here. And if he doesn't, that's fine. He just needs to stay alive. They've got better guns. They've got better utility. They just need to play a slow round here and play the retake correctly.
Yeah, going for a contest there would have been certain death for Zeph. They're getting very, very close here, Mitch. Already up towards connector here. Your Wombat does manage to dispatch of Malta quickly. Getting that Molotov onto the stairs.
Nice.
It is the opposing side, but it's going to be APOC Dud to pick up a couple of coupler as well.
Yeah.
So he's going to be absolutely
Beautiful.
happy with that. Clean as a whistle, sharp as a thistle. Rounds done, DGG 3 and 6. And obviously with that reinvestment of the double eco you picked up for both, I think it was Malta and Addicts, they have to full, just a half bar here as well, just a couple of pistols maybe.
Yeah, I mean, with the bomb plant, it's going to be Deegs, but DGG have done really well in that anti-force. Like, just really good sequencing of how they're playing that. They're really kind of doing a good job changing up their setup, playing mid-heavy, then going for the A-ramp aggression with the retake up against the force and slash eco. And they played the retake really, really well. So now they're going... I don't know if I'm as much of a fan of them playing this setup on the next anti-eco. But, you know, it is what it is. You do see, even in, like, Europe and stuff, teams do this top mid aggression anti-eco and trying to bully, you know, bully with the rifles. So...
Some bullying back, though.
Yeah, Fallex is pretty good at video games. Oh, no.
Dangerous territory, Mitch. This is where you see it all start to fall apart.
Saying too many
Complacency,
good
right?
things.
Yeah. Look, it's not done yet, but they do have to be very, very cautious. I think your Wombats needing to fall back. Yeah, played that counter well. Didn't overextend. Nade goes down in towards bottom mid now. That's going to sync up Malta, but Addicts actually picked up another in the process. Bomb's not exactly dropped in a precarious position either. They're going to be able to collect that. And where do they head from here? A site is open, but they're not going to know that just yet. Only advantage here, Mitch, is no Kevlar. That's going to be the danger. And I think Gump can actually see Malta there on the line.
Yeah,
Maybe saw the gun barrel.
See the orb, yeah. Can't shoot him. Wombats got it under control. Good aim punch. Addict versus 2. Even armorless, you back him.
You do.
They're playing so far apart, the CTs as well.
Yeah, trying to get the pincer in. Wombat's on for the ace here. So Addict obviously just has to try and play the little basic game, break up the 1v1s.
Yeah, I mean, he clears CT. That's so good now. He can just play the angles.
Up close. Just on Texter here. Addict drops one. That's going to be the ace denied. And he's actually managed to fall back in towards CT. Mitch, so losable. As you mentioned, bomb planted for him. Doesn't have any utility, but he doesn't need it. Gump has to fight. Gump has to die. In for it, and Addicts 13-4. Again, another stellar game. Like, this guy landed back in New Zealand about less than a day ago.
Tack out.
30 hours of travel, delayed, cancelled flights, and he's here doing this in a grand final for all the marbles.
Yeah. He's pretty good. Pretty good at the game.
You're starting to believe, starting to be a certified addict enjoyer?
Yeah, I already said so.
Yeah.
He's very good.
No, exactly. No, I don't know. I just like the Vertex roster. Like, I hope it's one that, you know, they seem to have sort of found some stability. Like, as you mentioned, you know, with the Valiant's Vexite position, you sort of thought maybe it was going to fall apart. You know, removing 2 good players in APOC Dud and Ruffle Code to try and make an upgrade, then the upgrade gets denied.
Like, this is a good... Oh, my God. Like... Yeah, we just lost another opening pick.
That's when he shouts out, "See ya!"
Oh, it's just, this is what I was saying. Like, for a team that gets most of their round CT side, like, they are kind of letting this half get out of control now.
Gump have to get more than 2 this time round, and
I mean,
it's only going to be 1. Addict does it again.
Even 1 in that position is like reasonable, but it's just nowhere near good enough. Like the round's already lost. The round was already lost before they got to Gum's site. It's like the life of an anchor player sometimes, unfortunately.
Yeah. We can go back and talk about that now just a little bit during that save. Like, you know, what are the kind of next steps for a team like this? You know, you've got that, you know, scalp
DGG.
now in the... for Vertex. Like, you know, because now,
I think,
you know, it is still a relatively new roster with new players too. It's still inexperienced.
The thing is, right, like, I think that win that they got, it had a bit of an asterisk on it.
It did, for sure. I agree.
And, like, I don't want to be that guy, but that is the truth. I was there. And now we're going to head into the end of the year where Encore have, I'm hoping, got much, much more prac. And Greyhound have just played the biggest event in the world. And Vertex are going to have to prove that they're that good again.
There's a big break in November as well, isn't there? Like, I think it's dead Counter-Strike in OS for that whole month. So it really will be who practices, who puts in the hard work, who puts in that personal development before the you know, wrap up of the year.
They gotta prove it wasn't a fluke.
Yes, and there
I
is
don't think it was a fluke,
so.
but I don't think it was a fluke, but that doesn't mean that they can necessarily do it again.
No, it took some heavy individual lifts to kind of get the job done, but we'll talk about that more later. Because APOC does only have, obviously, that saved up weapon, and they've managed to do a little bit of work here with it so far. Mitch Malta, very, very low, but now Zeph has to try and pick up something. The guns are both down. They are in relatively unattainable positions, and Malta has been able to manage to get the hell out of there. There is a member under balcony, and your Wombat does have the HE in hand. He's actually going to clear it, though. Are they going to look at each other? No, Brace has done it again. I think Brace might be able to completely tear this up solo. That's so unfortunate. If Zeph managed to connect that one bullet, you know, now Gump, sure, he'll be able to go straight down to mid, recover a weapon, but PZ's here. AWP recovered. See you later. And I can take that AWP back. Thank you very much. Well played.
That was cheeky from PZ.
He dropped the AWP down to hold the AK for a minute, didn't he?
I think so. I think that was all elaborate ruse.
Very smart.
I mean, DGG, that was just the saved weapons and a couple of pistols. They gave it a good crack. The problem is they're down 3-8 on their more favorable side on Mirage, and Vertex has very good money, or like pretty good money, with already 8 rounds in the kitty. So, or again, like, it's just another game, the same as Inferno, where it's unfortunately kind of getting to a position where this is almost an unwinnable game for DGG. Or it's going to take something like next level for them to win this game from this position. And it's happened to them, you know, already. Like, I've seen this happen to them in series against better teams, where it's like they just don't have that even half to half consistency sometimes.
So a much slower round here.
Yeah,
Con baiting it out the shot. No one moving though.
Look at the util difference between the teams. Like, APOC Dud's got all the util here, as well as Wombat. He just died with... Yeah, there's no more util here. They've lost mid control. They've lost Con. There's no info for the CTs here outside of the Palace push, which I will admit is probably one of the only ways they'll be able to win a round like this, is off of that good positioning in Palace. But Hugh doesn't stay there. And
oh, he's been spotted too. Can't get the catch. Really important now to get that pick. He does, but PZ with the trade.
Yeah.
Still very split up though, Vertex on the offense. So Addict going to try clear out. He's going to find Gump here, absolutely. 16 and 5. Like, I don't often, you know, really enjoy hampering down and sort of, you know, really repeating the frags, but it's just such a prevalent position for Addict. You know, another good reposition straight in towards Africa. And, you know, Malta is going to be able to close one out as well. So once again, you know, just superior positioning from Vertex. DGG get a couple of picks, but they're just traded out. And, you know, like, DGG just keep getting baited by that utility into a place where they're looking the wrong way so regularly.
Yeah, and I think in some cases, it feels like some of the players, they're still like trying to play positions where, you know, they can find impact. But in some cases, like APOC Dud's positioning in Con there, for example, it almost feels like, and sometimes you do get into this mindset in a game like this where it's like, they're better at us than the macro. They're kind of out shooting us. It's like, I need to kind of make a play. I need to get away with something to put us in the round winning position. And even sometimes where, you know, you're finding that 5-on-4, you're still not converting. And sometimes it's, you know, you almost play more confidently because you have a lack of confidence, if that makes sense.
Yeah. I like the way you put it. Good opening shot from Gump, though. Does manage to at least dispatch of Brace. Does force them into a little bit more of an awkward position. Still some utility in hand, but obviously no Kevlar for Zeph. He's still trying his best to pick up, obviously, that AWP later on. Really good flash. PZ manages to utilize it, which is a little bit dicey, though, at the end of the day. Still holding on nicely. Good damage from Gump. Now he's really marching on up. 32 points of HP, but Addict's going to be able to pick up the slack. He's got full HP here. If he finds Gump as well, that's massive. Really, really awkward for Gump. He's just trying to get that reload off, but Addict does it again, Mitch. It is just insane to witness. Like, he is noob stomping one of the top 5 teams in the region in DGG.
Yep. Not wrong.
No respect.
I mean, they did well there, DGG. They played that super well. Flash down. They get the opening pick. They flash down con and they pinch mid with all of their players. And then, unfortunately, Addict was still connected to the server. So,
kind of wishing his flight might have gotten delayed a little longer, I would say, you know, especially after the fact that he's just come in so comfortably. But poor Hugh has a basically impossible round to win here. Take, oh no, body shots. Okay, never mind, I was lying. But Addict's just too good. Hugh shouldered a little bit too aggressively, and Addict gets his just desserts as well. So 20 and 5. I'm trying to just only sort of add it up on the fact that last map, I think he was 29 and 15 or something as well. So he has just had a really, really stellar run. Check the HLTV stats after this map. But it looks like at this point in time, we are going to be going into that third pretty solidly. And what was it? Was it Vertigo or Nuke?
Vertigo.
Vertigo, right. So good map for DGG, but still confident for Vertex as well.
Again, bit of a mid contest. APOC dud. It's been, you know, kind of hit or miss. He's often playing these kind of positions as CT. You know, Ancient, he's playing Cheetah. This map, he's playing Con. The macro's going a little bit better this time. They're winning all their duels across the map. Much better. They get those 2 picks out on A. And now, really, they just need to make sure that they, you know, don't lose like 3 or 4 players so that their next buy is still fine. You know, they're leading on the double AWP now. See if they can scrape 5 rounds together at the end of this half, but even that's probably not good enough.
APOC, very bold to go for that swing, but, you know, confidence in numbers, I would say. Now, Brace, 1v5, really all he can hope for is, like, at least some damage here, Mitch. Like, 2 kills would kind of really, really put the pressure down onto DGG into that next buy, but it's not going to happen. They're going to have enough. Plenty to work with. They're going to restock those belts of utility with 5 alive and the double AWP. And it came in very, very late into this half. Didn't really cause all the impact to confirm that round win, but they got it done. 4 is okay, but still on that CT side, you really, really would have been hoping for at least an even half.
Yeah, I think Hugh having a much better game than he did on Inferno, but you have to see this consistency transition across to the T side because they've got so much work to do. Gump aggressing on the line with the secondary AWP. Flash out, dodged well, but he misses the shot, and now he can't get away. He has to hit the shot onto Forlex, and it's traded.
Very quick. Your Wombat in position, but he doesn't look down quick enough. Yeah, a little bit slow on that one. Forlex just marching forward. Molotov can go down in towards Market. That's going to send Zeph off the line. PZ's going to peek anyway. Should be able to find it. Yep, right eye peek. Nice and easy. APOC dud, doing his best Launders impression. Can't get up short. Always hard to hit that jump when the pressure is high. Brace is walking up. And it's an absolute ball terror here. Forlex with 3, Vertex take 11. And I think we were kind of having some whispers in the pre-game, Mitch, and leaning towards Vertex potentially walking away with a 3-0 right now. It's just such a convincing position for them to be in. And unless we see a really solid start come out, like, you know, because I'm ready to already close the door on Mirage.
Yeah. Yeah, it's going to take something special out of DGG on this T side. That's for sure. We're going to kick things off with the El Clasico AXE. We'll see what variation we get. Vertex, they've got this Balk set up with the player playing CT. Actually, Brace going to aggress in towards ramp, in towards Palace rather, and he gets punished for it. There's the stairs and jungle smoke, but PZ still takes 1 with him, Mitch.
Very nicely done. Can continue to hold, allow for the rest of the team to rotate over. PZ very, very close up towards bench, and it's certainly not being warmed by the man right now. He's looking to step off of it. Forlex looking to do some really good damage. Addict does fell Wombat though, as he does try to push his way through. All on the Gump with the pressure. Addict does manage to close out 2, and PZ a 3rd. So, yeah, Addict and PZ show, it continues. They're both actually starting to really sort of wind up as well. I didn't even notice how highly fragging PZ was as well. He's kind of just been doing it nice and silently.
Seems to be a good map for him, honestly.
Yeah.
I remember...
It can be a bit of an Orpa's paradise at times.
I remember just question marks in my brain when I watched him play this map on LAN against Greyhound. Just how well he was playing. Look, if this Force doesn't go well, I'm ready to call it, honestly,
Yep.
Mitch.
Yep. That's okay.
They need to win this one. They need to win this Force, or this is GG.
As much as we want this to be a terrific grand final, right? You know, also we do want to see Vertex kind of showing that they can really, you know, go strength for strength. It's not like they're going to make any excuses. Oh, jet lag, you know, wah. It's like, no. We can come straight into a grand final.
To be a good team internationally, you have to be able to play well with under those conditions. You have to. When you're from Oceania, that's just a fact of life.
Yep, exactly right. I learned very, very quickly, mate, that you can't make excuses, even as talent. Just gotta keep on marching against the grain. Popped out with a response.
Yeah, traded out. Forlex gets Zeph on towards ramp side. Double frag with Famus. Gump picks one back. It is winnable. They are going to head towards that B side of the map where only Malta resides, but unfortunately that smoke doesn't go deep enough and Gump is so low. He's shaking in his boots. Player that would definitely be capable of completing a 1-on-3, but can't do it. And unfortunately, that's probably going to be it.
Yep, 4 spies done. Just have to go for the pistol here. I mean, could potentially toy with a Galil idea. It's so far gone, but they're just going to be nice and happy. Bro, it's been so funny with all these, you know, the kill difference here on Vertex's side. Like, Addict and PZ have just been doing so much. Like, Brace, Malta, Forlex, they haven't really needed to do a whole lot. And Forlex has had some moments as well here, just with some impact frags. But they're just going to pump up Addict, and I don't blame them. This is like a 2.0 rating or above at this point in time. Pretty close, at least. Spots the gun barrel. Just getting it done. Nice and easy. Nothing too exciting here, Mitch. Just the eco farm. Get the cash.
I'm having a good time, like, going back into the head-to-head, Mitch.
Yeah,
Looking back into 2021, it's like Chiefs versus Vertex with the core of this team. Of DGG being obviously Apoc, Dart, Gump, Zeph, Hugh, and then they had Val playing.
Of course,
and
yeah.
They stomped Vertex in 2021. It just kind of shows you like how much improvement you've had as Vertex over the last little bit.
Going ham or no?
No, like it literally, they absolutely stomped them and they were the much better team. Like literally, if you go back to 21, they won 4 maps to 1, and then you go into 22 and DGG won that best of 1 as well. Yep. And since then, as we've gotten deeper into 22, it's been all Vertex, and it's been very more and more clean series wins as we got deeper into 2022. More and more one-sided
progression arc, right?
Yeah, they've got much better. And,
time chamber.
Yeah, and I think DGG did not get. I would say DGG is worse than they probably were last year. Most of these players.
There you go. You've heard it from the Pilski hot take machine. You can get it while it's hot. Always love to get some, you know, because it is. I like the little combo, you know, because I am such a. Oh, but what about this? And you're like, nah, shit.
No, never happy about being a pessimist. And look, he'd probably be kind of a pessimist if you got done like that. As Gump, Dud now trying to follow it up, but doors shut at this point.
Well, they're just so happy to work off that utility, you know. Like, that's the thing where Vertex have really sort of stepped up, is that mid-round aggression. Response from Zeph, though. So at least backdoor 4-on-4 for now.
DGG have done a great job converting. After seeing the initial setup, they've done exactly what they needed to do in that XVX. So they put themselves in a winning position now. But again, they just, a lot of these mid rounds this game, Mitch, have been falling apart. They need to convert this one.
Desperately. All the pressure has been put on. You know, you're going to say if Addict did manage to actually find another kill there, it would have been really, really dastardly, only with the MP9. PZ walking on up, though. They do have enough. Would be potentially worth a save, but I think they're just so comfortable, so confident right now. You just don't need to. 10 rounds to play with. PZ's pulled out the Deagle. He's going to wander his way up in towards Connector. Malta now getting in towards some forward position as well. Wombat actually burning a little bit as well. He's going to go almost 100-0. Zeph super close. Doesn't need to peek at all, but he does shoulder it enough. Gets the info inside a ramp. Actually do manage to take him. Surely not here, Mitch. No, you're Wombat. Okay, he's done enough. Managed to win a very, very important round there. DGG cling to dear life. But like they had to throw out absolutely everything, and they lost to the bonus almost.
I mean, they reduced their loss bonus. So they get 2.4. They lost all their guns, so they have to invest absolutely everything in this round, and they're going to have limited util. And Vertex had money in the bank account, so they're going to get a much better buy, which means they're, probably slightly favored to win this round, and they obviously have that reset potential now. APOC Dud charging out ramp. Unfortunately, gets done dirty as his smoke doesn't put out the molly there, but he does make it to Teddy.
Teddy, still the best call.
Ooh, we get spotted on the jump spot there, unfortunately.
So he hasn't slipped in there for free at all. They've still called the rotate, though, to aggress towards this A position. Brace is going to clear it before they even get there, I think. Punish, though. Well played by APOC Dud to at least respond. Forlex, though. Boltzers forward. Hugh on the trade. So there is at least some good responding positions here. Wombat's also got some really good timing onto Addict as well. Didn't peek through. Addict's going to get taken down immediately here, Mitch. So this is a really, really solid result from DGG. They're going to have to do a lot here. PZ into the ramp. Very, very fast. If Malta can at least deny something, maybe there's a world where PZ's timing is enough here. Gump's going to get punished in just a second, but there's so many players. Nah, missed the opening shot. Maybe not enough. Gump only 3 HP. It was almost doable, but 6 rounds. Eco. All right. I mean, it's still not the comeback dream, but it's something. It's something to talk about.
Absolutely. Getting themselves a little bit of momentum, maybe heading into a vertigo, which we know that they can play. Now going to go into the anti-eco. And hopefully put something together from that. Maybe a bit more T-side economy to keep fighting for this game with, but they're pretty far behind at this point. It's going to be quite a monumental comeback, which economy-wise is a little bit easier on the T-side usually. You're going to have to be reading the game super well, though, on the T side to complete a comeback like on Mirage. Because the thing about, playing against CTs on Mirage is you're always seeing them, dynamically change up their setup. One round you're going to be playing against a 1-3-1 where they're aggressing mid. One round you're going to be playing against, the ramp aggression. One round they might go take B apps. So you always need to be kind of staying one step ahead and calling really well as DGG to complete a comeback like this, I would say.
It's one of those games where you really need to break your opponent's mental, and Vertex as of late haven't kind of been a team to lose that kind of emotional foundation, I would say. Like, I think they've been pretty good in keeping a level head, and I guess Brace probably has a very large part in that. They don't have a coach. They only obviously do have a rogue member coming in on the odd occasion for events where they're not competing, but nothing solid, right? It very much has been Brace as the IGL, as a developing player, carrying the team along with him. Whilst the individuals also improve at the exact same merit. DGG have got Ketubor, which is obviously the Slovenian coach that has had a hand in some of the Tier 2 European scene as well, Mitch, who is a very, very firm handshake. I was very pleased to experience that at the DreamHack.
Definitely a different vibe when you get that community feel again, especially after such a long pandemic era of online tournaments.
Yeah. We lived it super hard, locked in away in the West Australian prison for quite some time.
Alrighty. DGG, pretty slow round from them. Seems like they want to throw A smokes to try and draw some kind of reaction, draw some utility out, and they've done well there. There's 3 committed to A here. You can see PZ trying to throw that supportive utility. Now the creep through mid comes, but you can see PZ is already kind of reading this. He's on that con line, and he's been able to pick them as they cross. Well traded by Wombat though, Mitch.
Already taken a hell of a lot of damage though, so they sort of do move into that position a little bit weakened, as we've seen. Utility being such a key for Vertex once more. Hugh has been waiting patiently, but Malta does actually manage to get the spot, so a little bit unfortunately there, I would say, for Hugh. Malta, good bit of timing. And I think Wombat, if he gets into a good position here, there might be something. But look at Addict, he's already onto it. Has a full awareness. That's going to be his 28th frag as well. Good day, sir. And yeah, look, an opportunity sort of found has been rescinded immediately by DGG again, Mitch.
Yeah, I think it's a perfect, like there's been so many rounds like this on DGG's team side across this whole series where the read is pretty good, but the execution is just not there, unfortunately. And they're kind of getting outclassed a little bit. Like the A smokes did draw a little bit of a response, and when they trade PC there, well, you know, it's good. They've got a solid position. They've got a pretty good read on what's going on. But they just weren't able to convert the 4-on-4 at the end of the day. And that, you know, that's been a prevailing issue across most of tonight. In the mid round, Vertex has been the better team. That is, I mean, you know, in terms of how this game's been going, that's something that you don't get too often as DGG is. You get that pick. They've been getting first picks quite a bit on Inferno, but yeah, winning the straight up alt build right at the start of the round. It's going to be a good one. They're going to head towards B, but look at this. I mean, you already got 4 licks on the rotation across. That's a nicely done nade from Malta.
Huge. And immediately they do start to book it out, but that's just going to be Addict farming up. So easy for him. Like, they're just not putting themselves in position to trade at all. He's got 3. Not even a peek back. Zeph straight onto the line.
No trade, no flashes, pushing him off the line. You already had 4 licks in market before that hit even started.
They can just sit still now. Bombs dropped out of the apartments onto the floor. That was Addict's doing. And I think he's just going to walk away with a 4K here to close this one out, Mitch. Sitting completely still inside. Get right. He can now swing out. And he does get taken, so they do have to be at least a little bit careful. You know, Zeph would be on for the ace clutch. He did manage to do it, but again, it really would just be making mistakes. This is Vertex. You know, you don't win that 3v1, 1v3 rather. You lose the 3v1. Now, Brace, middle of the site, does have the big brain, has to hear Zeph drop. That's going to be the key factor, and he has actually repositioned here. So Zeph looks closely. Brace doesn't lose those, keeping it nice and cool and calm and collected. They almost throw it away a little bit, but Vertex do manage to walk away with a very similar scoreline to the previous Mitch, 16-7, looking unbelievably confident. I'm going to be immediately straight to HLTV after that one to check up those Vertex Addict stats, because they're just insane right now. He is doing super, super well. But I think the best way to sort of put it, Mitch, from what I'm observing, right, is I don't think DGG is playing crazily poor by any means. Sure, it's definitely not their best Counter-Strike. I think they can go toe-to-toe with Vertex sometimes when they're feeling good, but right now Vertex are just looking, it's team diff, really, straight up.
Yep, team diff, individual player diff, and yeah, end of the day, I think, look, in a game like this, I think even DGG, like, I would say that they only lose to teams that are better than them, but that's not even true anymore. Like, they have been dropping maps to underdog teams. They obviously missed out on the LAN as they lost to Rooster. So I think, you know, DGG, this grand final probably looks like a bit of a difficult prospect. I'm not expecting a reverse sweep or anything like that. And I think that, you know, this will just be a bit of a learning experience for them. They're going to be able to kind of review this game. And I think Vertex is a good team to kind of learn from, because they are on a bit of a hot streak at the moment. But look, Vertigo coming up, that's another good map for both of these teams that they can both play. So look, we'll reserve expectations. And we'll hope that DGG can at least, you know, put up a bit better of a game, maybe even try to swing for the double digits and you know, put on a bit of a show before they probably make their way out of the tournament.
Absolutely. A run on the board would be really, really nice, at least looking for a 3-1 here. But of course, you know, DGG, a comeback story, certainly is not something that we've never seen in the past. So let's hope. But until then, go fill up the water bottle. Make sure you get some BioCAD Lab in ya, and then we'll see you right back after the break.
Whānau, that guy's NJ here, and I am here at the Sky Tower in Tāmaki Makaurau to check out the new Sky Slide, which is just opened. Let's go check it out. This is their brand new virtual reality experience based up on their main observation deck. It's a crazy ride, offering 360-degree views of Auckland at up to 100 kilometers per hour. The motion platform imitates the 3D rendered open-air slides, twists and turns above the skies of Tāmaki Makaurau. Counting down. Punch it. Let me at him. Hey! Free air. Whoa! Whoever's done the render for this has done like an incredible job. Whoa! It's also really comfortable, like the motion platform's super nice. It's actually really selling all of these like different twists and turns. Another free fall, whoa! Whoa! We're heading home, boys, we're heading home. Whew. So it's $40 for the experience, which includes viewing platform access, or it's just $15 on top of your tower ticket. And it's for ages 8 and up.
Good evening, gamers. We have returned from a short break and just letting all your heads kind of take in what we've been seeing so far. Of course, if you are just joining us, it is the Biocode Lab LPL CSGO Pro League Season 2, end of 2022. And Mitch, we come down to the grand final, and it could potentially be the last map of the season. And it's been a wild one, right? You know, we've got to see some really cool teams obviously make it all the way through those 3 stages of competition. We did have to say farewell to a few, but now we're absolutely down to the crux, down to 2 of the favorites of the competition duking it out, and it's been pretty convincing so far in the way of Vertex, right? We've seen a 16-8 on Inferno, now a 16-7 on Mirage. DGG have certainly showed some signs of life, but Pilski, look, I think Vertex are really looking to run away with the bag here and pip away that 5k difference in the prize money.
Yeah, I'd say so. Addicts plus 36 in 2 maps already.
What's the rating? That's what I needed to look at.
Almost 2. Almost 2.
Almost 2. Okay.
He didn't. Close. He's good, but he didn't 30 bomb in both maps.
Cringe. Yeah.
I'm not sold yet. You know, he's just okay.
What do you think here? Vertigo coming up, right? That's going to be, you know, potentially, as I mentioned, the last one. DGG have picked it. They've had some good runs on the board. What are you thinking sort of going into this one?
They both played it 8 times, but DGG have had some pretty mixed results. They've lost to a fair few good teams. They've lost to Antic. They've also lost to Nutty and look for Vertex. They've also played it a fair bit. They've lost it really weirdly to Antic in a pretty one-sided game. That was a crazy one where apparently they just didn't turn up in another domestic league. And they've lost it to Greyhound, but they've also beat a lot of good teams. They beat Rooster, they beat Encore. So you're for sure back in Vertex to close this series out.
Absolutely. So we'll have to find out whether or not Vertex have got the juice to come back off the jet lag, sending it to the wayside, but looking very strong here. And once again, if you were missing it on the first one, now Battle Drones, got to remind you of it all. Battle Drones is a startup game studio based in New Zealand, where our humble abode for LPL is, and they're currently developing their debut game title, Red Rock Resistance. It's a 3D isometric shooter game with fighting drones and a range of weaponry. The free PC demo is out now for everyone to try, and you can check that one out at battledrones.io. Again, a massive shout out to obviously all the sponsors that do manage to bring the show ahead for us. But for now, Mitch, again, will it be the grand finale, or will DGG give us a lifeline? We need to see all members firing off on all cylinders, and with Vertex starting out on that CT side, let's see what they got.
Yeah, we're going to have to see the boys on DGG put up a better T-side performance than they've been showing for most of this game. I think they've only got 8 or 9 rounds on the T side across both of the last 2 maps, obviously doing most of their work on CT. So they need to kind of pull their socks up and get it done by committee. Spotted in mid is Forlex, who gets pushed off the line, and we're going to get this A split through middle.
Straight on through. Apoc Dud and Zeph do get a couple of openers splitting in towards that A site position. Forlex gets one. Quickly traded out though, however. So Brace and Addict, they are already forward towards that A site. And it looks like they've actually got the read of that, Mitch. Straight in towards B. And it looks like they are going to be able to get that site scot-free. We are obviously going to see a contest from Vertex. And with that smoke grenade, there is a world where they can actually get it done. And it's Addict still alive. Maybe an opportunity here.
Yep, Brace making his way through spawn side. If he goes down on this side of the site, I don't think Addict's going to be able to recover some of this utility. Pretty heavy setup towards ramp side here as Addict starts to round the corner towards stairs.
Clearing on in. Has to clear that hard left position here. Humongous spotted. Great crispy shot from Addict. You know, that's what we've grown to expect from him during the course of this series here. Looking forward now, has to clear out one more. It's becoming a winnable world here, Mitch, but your Wombat will have to be the one to break the mold here. Brace does have that kit. He can just stick this. I think he will. I think he absolutely will. Oh, no! Oh, man. You just know that Brace has just gone, what now? To the other room. And very, very nicely done there from Brace. I've got to admit, to have the goal to stick that, your Wombat. Oh, man. We've all been there. The USP works for some, it doesn't work for others.
Oh, they needed that T-side pistol, Mitch. They needed it. I'll tell you what, though. The bomb plant plus a lot of kills means that they get this really good T-side force. And if they can win it, then they can, for sure, reset that CT money super hard and get off to a good start on the T-side, which is exactly what they need. They cannot afford to let this one go by the wayside.
And I love this from Vertex as well. They've called the pause like very, very early, just letting it simmer. And you can just see that the DGG side, they're pumping back up your Wombat. Look, he did get the 3K, just unfortunately wasn't able to close it out. So at least it was very, very close. It means that all members of Vertex are, you know, kind of scraping around at a few things. Got all the Galils up. Little bits of utility, and yeah, certainly enough to make it work up towards this B position. Gump, though, he's been taken down very, very low, and Peasy also getting a tag up onto your Wombat, so a good opening start again for Vertex, who are becoming a very, very common fan of doing this early damage.
Sonic Smokes in the kit for DGG, so pretty straightforward how you put a round together like this on the T side. It is all timing-based spacing, hitting those entries, and that's a good start. You takes the head off of PZ. A lot of these Ts are so low, so Vertex, even though they are down a player, this AK just keeps getting passed around.
It was so common, though, even on Inferno and Mirage, right? Just the DGG, even if they get the opening pick, so many of them were tagged down to half or a third of their HP. It's just so, like, daunting to be trying to attack a site when you know, taken down so low early on.
Well, the flash and the boost to clear most of ramp there for Vertex, and off of that you're going to see them stack towards B here, which is exactly where DGG are headed.
Slow waltz in. Bomb will be joining them, so a little bit of a wrap towards mid, but I think Brace, taking some forward positioning here, has actually called himself to fall away, though. Malta's done some further damage. That's another cleanup. Brace gets one more, and now it's just almost an impossible feat here, even for DGG. You know, 3v4, they've done the damage to Brace, but this just, the claws of the MP9 just wrapping it up, like making it look so easy here. Malta's picked up the AK. Hugh's going to at least get one for his troubles, hitting a very nice shot with that Galil, but Malta, Addict, both had it. Bit of a pincer attack there onto the top of the hump, and Vertex walk away with a second round as well, Mitch. So yeah, DGG, they unfortunately have to rescind another opportunity. Like, they've gotten so close. Like, I can't feel that some of these massive swing rounds where we have seen them throughout, you know, they've walked away just narrowly missing out on an opportunity where they give some life, but Vertex just kind of slap them back down.
Fade stack coming in, getting the airstrike straight onto Malta, and he somehow lives. That's ludicrous. He's literally gotten bombarded there.
And he gets 3.
Yeah. Sad. Had a good read.
They did indeed. Tried to hook it up, and I'm loving seeing these 0-0 Nation stickers everywhere. Oh, man. That is going to be exciting, though, with the major starting in a couple days, hey?
Yep.
It's just the classic curse of the 2 a.m. starts, but at least we got something. When do you finish? When's uni done for you, officially?
Oh, I'm already pretty much done.
Yeah, so when's the final exam?
Oh, like the 8th.
Easy, man.
Yeah.
It's going to feel good.
Need to find a purpose for myself. Maybe I need to start grinding the attack FPS shooters again.
Yeah.
then I could
Love
get
to see it.
absolutely slapped around.
Hey, it would be a dream to cast you once more. I've done it in the past. Happily do
Pretty
it
sure
again.
you casted
now.
me 1v5 once.
I did, yeah, I did. Kind of crazy. Still remember when I think it was Manic and Brainstorm that casted me. That was always pretty funny.
Unfortunate.
Yeah.
I would, you know, if I got casted by Rob Monday, I feel like that'd be a bit of a letdown, honestly. That guy's squashed.
True. So at least some life back, but Hugh caught out again. Addict finds the good opportunity on the timing, so a lot of heavy lifting that needs to be done here by both Apoc Dud and Gump, and we have seen that from Apoc Dud, you know, namely on Inferno. Did slow down somewhat on Mirage, but it was still a pretty solid result given the rest of the team's sort of status. Now Gump really having to do a whole lot of work here. Does pick up one, but Addict's already moved so far forward. He's done enough. Peasy's there as well on the line. Vertex just marching through, but at least though, again, like, you know, DGG are putting down the right fundamentals. They are finding some picks. They are finding some opportunities, but yeah, Vertex are just managing to kind of slap back very, very quickly as soon as a response is found. Like, you know, they'll get 1.5 kind of picks. They'll try to put some pressure down, but Vertex have just been rotating into the extremities very, very quickly and denying any sort of further aggression from DGG.
Yeah. No plant for DGG means that they have to half buy here because they can't really afford too much util. Gonna pick the pace up straight up towards ramp. Flash goes through, but doesn't really blind any of the CTs because Brace and Malta are a little bit further back. Now you get the counter util even back on in from the CTs, and you're getting Vertex just using the range of these A1Ss to pretty much shut this round down. Zeph's trying to be a bit of a cheeky bugger inside the secret smoke, and that's 5 alive for Vertex. Very clean anti-eco after a closer gun round where they dropped a couple of guns. They immediately stabilize their economy. They're up 5-0 with 2 buys in the back pocket, and that's not good news for DGG.
Just really need someone individually to step up large, be that leader for the team. That's the only thing that I don't want to see, Mitch. Like, I don't want to see DGG just roll over and fall flat. I mean, it'd be nice for Vertex, but as we've seen, right, it can start to get a little bit scrappy into some of those rounds that sort of really do march towards a 16-0 lookalike or something along those lines. Zeph, though, forced off the line. Malta getting very, very aggressive. Good response from Gump, but over towards the other side of the map there, Mitch. Now they do manage to send him packing. But still aggressive down towards that ramp. You know, Vertex haven't been thrown off the line in any way.
Yep, in this XVX, you could maybe see Hugh activating in middle. Have to see what we're going to get. Brace aggressing that mid line on the off angle, and Hugh's over there as well. We're still getting this AWP duel as your Wombat picks it up, but he gets legged on the way through. Brace wins that duel against Humongous. PZ wins the AWP duel. And yeah, it's kind of fallen apart. It's gone by the wayside. 4 alive for Vertex. They have got $1 million at this point. They're heading into another anti-half buy, most likely, unless DGG want to just start throwing these desperation light util buys in there.
It's an interesting one. Like that round there specifically, and I think we've seen it, you know, numerous times for DGG. Just 4 1v1s. You know, no sort of position to trade, no backing each other up, no counter flashing.
It's been quite
DGG has just gone walkabout. Yeah. I think they've switched off a little bit now, which is, yeah, a bit of a shame because they are such a solid team, and that should never happen, that position. You know, they had a couple of rifles there on that line, and Forlex looking even to get a 4th here. He could be on for the ace. I think he will. Moving forward for it. Does actually choose to fall away. Picks up the techie. Okay, they're actually going to send Addict in rude. Addict gets the trade. So, yeah, even just another position where, you know, in a 1v4, 1v5 rather, they're still doubling up. You know, they're not just going walkabout solo.
Yeah, I think, like, that's a perfect example of it where there's no trade, no supportive flash to help them get on that B line and push the rifler off. They just get 3K'd by the A1S. And it's happening a little bit too much, unfortunately. BGG looking towards this ramp area. Malta over here towards Scaff. There's the flash for DGG to push him in on the line. Malta playing aggressive this time.
Where will they go? They seem to at least have all congregated into the same area, Mitch. That's a key factor, but they're again hesitant. Molotov does go up. That is going to clear out Brace.
That's nice.
Giving the information away, doing something to work with it. Great flash as well to send Malta off the line for now, but he's still getting aggressive. He's still looking to fight this good fight. Malta gets away with it, and he's done some further damage onto your Wombat. At least Zeph gets a response, but Brace still back onto that line. Actually thrown down another smoke as well, which gives that position on the one-way for Brace to have a little bit of a look down. But just again, you know, DGG have completely pumped the brakes and allowing Vertex to just kind of wrap their way back around and take the chokehold back.
I mean, this is just where they need to make sure. Spacing is good right now, but again, it's just getting picked apart in the mid-round. Aggression from Brace. He's gotten 2. The trade is not there from Zeph, who's a couple steps behind the next player trying to trade that kill. And they still haven't even run into Addict over here on yellow, who could just aggress through Secret and continue to apply the pressure.
Okay. Zeph having to do it all solo again, though. And PZ should be able to find an easy shot. Yeah, he will. Did take a little bit of damage. Zeph making it look like there was at least a world where it could have potentially been done, but Malta was there on the rotate. Not too far behind. No, it wasn't Malta. I think it was Forlex. Anyway, irrespective. 8-0, Mitch. I don't know. Like, it can be very hard to sort of, you know, continue to back this one up, push it forward, kind of give DGG that boost. Because, you know, this is not what we want to see as casters, right? We want to see a competitive game. We want to see it close. And whilst obviously Vertex is making a bit of a statement here, showing that there is such a large difference. You know, even in a round where they've moved quicker, PZ's still happy to move in confidently. He's gotten that opening pick. And immediately again, brakes have been pumped. Apoc Dud's death is for naught. And they've just been allowed to get straight back to that site comfortably.
That's one of those kills where you just can't really trade, to be honest. Like, that was way too quick from PZ. That's why it's such an impressive shot. Where, you know, you're just picking the player on a very, very tight line and getting out of there before there's...
Oof.
Like, even if they scaled all the way up ramp, they can't possibly catch him on that line.
No, absolutely not.
It's just completely untradeable, which is what, you know, some of the best AWPers in the world do. You know, that's a kind of level that PZ can play at least domestically in this region.
And we've seen him, you know, obviously in those opportunities that he's had overseas. He's at least put up some consistent performances individually. So we'll have to see if that does continue to double down over time. The casters were quite impressed with him, which is always nice to hear international casters not just pooping on us, which is good. But Malta made it a little bit too easy. Again, does get a good response. Humongous does afford himself the trade, but they have to get moving very, very quickly. PZ's already back onto the line here. Hugh straight into the crosshair, but he does actually dodge, so that's always good. First opportunity we've actually seen them get this plant down on the site. PZ moves forward, though. Maybe a little bit too bold there. That's the confidence coming in from the lead that they've got right now, Mitch.
Yeah.
Is there a member coming up the ramp? Yes, there is. Forlex. Will Humongous find him? Yes, he will. Finally, a winnable opportunity here, Mitch. This was a 4v2, but it's a great flash over the top now. Hugh has to do it all completely solo, and Addict's just going to march on in. Another 2 for him, making it still look very, very easy. He's had a bit of a quieter one here, but he's still 8-2. 9 rounds now picked up for Vertex, and yeah, DGG just giving us little glimpses of life, but Vertex playing good fundamentals and getting straight back in.
Yeah. Or retained. DGG with the reinvestment here. Again, they've kind of been trying to go for this ramp control early and, you know, work in the mid round, but they're getting disrupted. They're getting picked on many of these angles, which is making their life pretty difficult. It's really the mid-round re-aggressions that are killing them most of the time. Like, the amount of times that Vertex is able to peek in the mid-round on all these different lines towards A and just be able to multi-frag pretty consistently. This time it's going to be a mid-aggression. Brace doesn't double up. It's a good trade.
Okay.
So we've got a man advantage. They're a little bit split here, but Forlex is quite isolated on B.
Yeah, what do they do with it? That's the question. You know, Forlex has got himself one, but at least it is traded out. First sincere opportunity here. We did see one previous round where I believe it was a 4v2 that Vertex were able to bring back. Zeph, though, already onto this position. Malta actually gets legged up. Pretty lucky to be alive here, yet does get away with it. That is very, very unfortunate. Malta's having a tear up right now. Apoc Dud, very, very close. Malta's got another. Very, very winnable here, but it depends on how close he gets. Apoc Dud is very much on the line, and he takes the duel, takes the fight, and takes the round. DGG not gonna let themselves roll over and die. You love to see it.
Yep, got themselves one round on the T side. I think they probably need 5 or 6 before switching over to CT to give them a hope. You don't want to see them getting 11 forward here.
Got to be a perfect run from here for sure.
There's the flash onto the B line. Seen a fair bit of aggression on that B side of the map from Vertex pretty routinely. Orlex going to drop the molly, just trying to make the CTs a little bit the T's rather a little bit uncomfortable. You do get PZ pushed off that line in middle, but he's going to throw the smoke deep mid and get onto the info line. So Vertex have got full mid control at this point. Gump and Zeph have lost a lot of HP somewhere. There's the boost up, putting Wombat onto the line. That's beautiful.
Oh, they spot him. Very well done. That's 4Lex alone on an island as well. So how quickly do they pick up the pace off the back of this? It looks like they've got a little bit more confidence behind them now, Pilski, which is very, very good to see. Already making their way forward on towards that site, but they're still looking a little bit lost in towards the B ramp position. Your Wombat has at least been able to get very, very close up towards the gens, and Malta does peek on that line, so they've got to be cautious. Obviously, can't go all the way through. Wombat does give him a little bit of a sticky beak, but Malta gets forced away. So this could almost actually be a save position. I think it is. There we go. DGG are doing something for us, giving us some rays of hope, a glimmer of light, which is exactly what you want to see in this grand final. Would love at least the map picked up by DGG, but yeah, just steps, slowly, baby steps towards giving it a more competitive half here at the very start.
Yep, need a couple more, but that's a good little B boost in there. Even though they lost mid control, they just get into the site, throw that high percentage utility. It's a good little B exit, and the post plant, they lock it down with the utility quite well. That's going to build up their money and give them a little bit more legs in this half to try and at least push for 5. But the 4-man save is going to keep stabilizing Vertex's money going forward. They probably still have at least 1 buy in the back pocket. And after that, they probably would only have a bit of a soft reset as they got 2.4 loss bonus. Only 4Lex is the one who's a little bit broker, so probably only really 1 eco in the tank for Vertex as we head through the rest of this half, if they drop any more gun rounds, that is.
Taking the angle once again, looking for the fight from PZ. Zeph's already over towards the bottom left of the ramp on his side. Does scooch off the line, actually gets the leg shot onto PZ, so at least there's some opening damage to kind of
I gotta say, Zeph is kind of
fear.
getting robbed this series. The amount of times he's been legging people.
Or just like a pixel miss on the shot too.
Yeah, or like he shoots someone, looks dead on in their chest, and it does 50 damage. Bit weird.
Slower approach. Humongous out mid. Brace is just sitting on the hump. They've definitely set a little bit more of a focus down towards this B site for Vertex. I
think maybe off the back of recognizing that DGG in previous maps have, when something's worked for them, they have tried to kind of emulate it. I'm trying to think of like the example that was on Inferno. What was that apps bus that worked for them, where they went straight back to it and tried to do it again. Gump's done well there on the lurk, on the wing over towards B. He's found that opening. Addict, that is ridiculous.
No way.
Who makes that play? Who makes that play, Mitch? That is.
Yeah, who makes that play and gets away with 2 as well?
I mean, it's not good enough to win the round. That's going to be a round for DGG every day of the week they've got.
Yeah.
I think Hugh on the lurk through middle has done well enough to kind of lock them out of sight. This shouldn't be retakeable, especially in their economic position. They're incentivized to save here. PZ's quite low. So again, well worked from DGG. Went for a slower approach to that round. That's where, like, with the kind of experience that DGG has, you haven't seen them be confident enough to, like, have their wing players take over a round frequently enough. Like, players like Hugh and Gump have the skill set, and you see it more frequently against, the second-rate teams in Oceania, where they will do those kind of plays a little bit more. But in this series, there just hasn't been as much of that at all.
Yeah. I think it used to very much be that, the core of this DGG roster, like, they were that team to just dominate all of the domestic scene outside of the teams that were, above them on the ladder. They struggled. They could occasionally put up a result. Like, I go back to sort of thinking, to a local league a couple of years ago where, I think it was actually more sort of that APOC Dud, Hugh, Maker, Jinx, that genuine roster, where they did take a scalp off a Red Hot Order one time on LAN. So they've definitely got the capacity, but they really all have to be firing up on the day.
think they beat Chiefs in the semis and then lost to Order in the grand final, if I remember correctly.
That could have been right. Yes, you could be right. Yeah, because I remember they made it to the grand final in a big tier LAN, which was sick.
Yeah, they won that semi on train.
Yep.
That was with Scully Man.
It was, yes. He was popping off that series too.
This is the same setup from DGG mostly. You know, Hughes kind of minding mid. They've got Gump on that aggressive lurk towards B, and they've just got this 3-man A setup. It seems like DGG is trying to catch aggression. There you go, PZ straight through the pixel gap, but the AWP finds the first pick, so the round does not start as well as the last time around. Zeph on the line, though, able to trade it back.
Hey.
So it's well worked. Progression smoke out of DGG. They still have this map control maintained. You know, Hugh was still watching middle. Gump is still in stairs. That gives them the contingency to walk back over towards the B side of the map, and you're seeing a bit more of a shift in rotations now. The issue right now is that Forlex has still got so much util. He's going to refresh that B stairs smoke. Addict has still got a molly and a flash. Forlex has still got a molly and a flash. And you're already seeing Malta leaning over towards middle, so Vertex well positioned.
They are looking to get through it. That's the main thing. Forlex just off the back of the side. Molly still can go down. 25 seconds. Forlex at least is sent away. They're still very low down this ramp though, Mitch. 20 seconds. They have to get a bit of a rig along. Very good flash. Very, very nicely done there. Apoc Dud will be able to afford that opening frag. He's done it again. 2 openings onto the A site. Now they are B site rather. Now they are very close, but Malta is going to get taken down quickly by Gump. Brace makes it look good for 1, but does he save here? I don't know. PZ does have cash. Malta might have something to work with. Or do they just take the eco around the rifle? It's not going to matter. Who cares? Zeph is actually starting to activate. It's taken a long time in this series, Mitch, but at least there is something there for him. 8 and 10, starting to kind of posture up a little bit better on that T-side AWP, which can be very, very challenging on a map like Vertigo. So 4 rounds.
Oh. I wanted to see PZ hero AWP here and then just save around it, but he's only A1-ing.
He wants it into that final round.
Well, he could just save it. A lot of the time when you do see like a hero AWP, you see them save. Like you see James will hero AWP on Outsiders and then like, you know, I know it's a meme. I know it's a meme, bitch. But
no. I know. Look, I agree with it. It's good.
Like the way that he does it, he thinks like, if I buy AWP this round for next round, and then sometimes I win this round with it, you know?
Ah, yes.
Yeah. It's
sometimes maybe good. Okay.
Yeah. Spend your 47.50 now for results.
Right.
Now,
okay. Thank you.
Definitely later.
I will buy your timeshare in Hawaii.
Hawaii.
You're telling me I can stay there 8 weeks of the year?
All you have to do is give me all your retirement money.
Okay. All right. Do you want cash or card?
I don't know. What's more? I guess cash is a bit more dodgy.
So good reaction. Apoc Dad able to pick up one as well. Everyone's kind of had a nice little piece of the pie right now. They've just got to be cautious of Brace. Brace could do some serious damage if he's not traded. They weren't aware of him at all. Yeah, could really put a stopper, but never mind. Hugh with the fadeaway. On for the teammates here, but they're still... Yeah, I don't know. They're scared of one wild Forlex. But they do head towards B. Looks like we are going to see some forward positioning from Gump, but 27 seconds. They've got to make a bit of a wriggle on. I don't like this, Mitch. I don't like it at all. Oh, man. Why are they so scared? But it's okay. They get the round done. It's 5. It's 5. That might be enough.
Mitch, all I'm saying is, Mitch, do you remember that? I don't know if you watched it, but there was a game in another domestic league where Forlex was playing on Arena and he deagle aced and got like 16 by DGG.
Yes, I remember seeing that.
That was on the T side, but and that was over on B on Vertigo, but I was getting flashbacks. I'm like, surely not. Surely he's not about to.
I remember that round getting tweeted out, so I didn't watch it live, but I certainly saw it after because lots of people were going on about it. But Zeph's getting another opening. That's another, that was the Biocode Lab head-to-head, right? PZ versus Zeph, rather.
Yeah.
And Zeph's getting some opening picks this game.
The whole point of the head-to-head was like, PZ is clearly the much better form AWPer, but if Zeph, like one of the main win conditions, if Zeph starts playing well and shuts down PZ because he hasn't been in good form, like that is a completely different game of Counter-Strike you're playing.
Yeah. 100%.
And you're seeing the results right in front of you. Triple nade onto the spot that Forlex was playing for a couple of rounds. Pretty heads-up play from DGG. They've still got plenty of util to work the rest of this round. Vertex, Malta's picked up the AWP and he's playing retake A with it. Brace spotting middle with a fair bit of util, and it's a 2-man setup. on B here. DGG have been rewarded time and time again, Mitch, for slowing the play down in the mid to late round, waiting for mistakes out of Vertex, and then doing what they have failed to do on some of the other maps this series, which is just grouping up and just throwing high percentage utility with good spacing and hitting those sharp entries.
Patience. Appearing to be a virtue for Forlex right now. Taken down 2 already. You know, DGG desperately need this one, but Addict's moved up very, very forward, and I think they've shut down kind of the hopes and dreams of a 9-6 half here, Mitch. It's going to be 10-5 unless Humongous can do the unthinkable. But look, 10 seconds left. It's just not enough at all. You can't even, you know, sort of wish that round into play. And Addict continues his decent form. You know, he's been, again, a little bit quieter here, but still 13-6. 10-5. Doable. DGG have given us at least something to be happy about. You know, they haven't, again, just completely relinquished control. You know, I don't ever imagine a grand final where it would be a 16-10, you know, 16-0 rather in the final map of the series. But Vertex have called attack. So at least they are maybe feeling some level of sweat, some level of pressure. And DGG, if they win this pistol, you know, there is a world where they can start to turn the tides.
Yeah, like I said, they needed 5 or 6 rounds on that T side. And after going down 9-0, they win the 5 of the next 6. So good recovery, honestly. And it wasn't anything crazy. They didn't need some crazy hero plays. They didn't need anything special. They just needed to go back to what was working for them before, back to the fundamentals of just working the map and doing the high percentage utility, you know, playing their roles the way that you'd expect them to. Who did quite a good job. You know, he was getting actually quite a few opening kills. And he was doing a good job of kind of activating in the mid round, like working his way through middle and stuff like that. So, yeah, good recovery, I'd have to say, for DGG. And like you said, if they get themselves that pistol and they move over to that CT side, get the economy rolling for themselves, you know, they could put up a bit of a game of it. We'll see how many, who's been winning the pistols so far this series. That's what I want to be having a look at.
Has been Vertex from memory.
Feels
I
like
don't
it.
even actually know if DGG's
Vertex
got
won.
a pistol, right?
Vertex have won every pistol.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. I didn't think DGG had actually walked away with one at all. So, quick technical pause that has been rectified. Thank you to our admins for that one, sorting it all out. And obviously, big man Toby sending us through the elevator shaft. Very good. Walking on through, straight towards this ramp. Full poise from Vertex. And there seems to be no faffing around here, Mitch. They're just pretty happy to cruise on in. Not burning any early utility. They've already taken that real estate now where they can start to send in their exec. They can smoke off both the sides of the site. They've cleared out sandbags and they should just be able to walk in. And I think, like, already straight up, this is going to be straight out of 5v5 retake.
It's just a retake scenario. Did they tap it? So, yeah, they tap it because they're anticipating the double nade. No double nade comes out, so Attic gets the corner planted. In the meanwhile, Zeph spans one through the smoke. They've got this progression smoke to try to get on that defuse. Are they going to recognize it's a left side plant, though? That's what I'm wondering.
Yeah.
It is just going to be the crane prog smoke, so that's not actually going to cover the plant hit.
Not at all. So they really do have to kind of go fighting into the extremities for this one. DGG needs to get a bit of a wriggle on. There is the kit in the hands of your Wombat, but Malta! Couplers for the man right now. Apoc Dud lost alone in a very, very awkward situation, and Malta is just hiding in the smoke, ready to strike. Take a bow, my friend. What a play from the big man in Malta. Very, very nice to see. Vertex pick up the 11th, and that is all 6 pistols that we've witnessed coming out from Vertex so far. And if you guys are fans of Oceanic Counter-Strike, right, we're not exactly good at the pistols overseas. We've seen that in Greyhound for quite some time as well. Remember at the RMR, they were like, hey, we finally won a pistol, which was always nice. But yeah, Vertex looked pretty convincing in that position after Malta picked up a few more. Now, the reinvestment is here, and they're moving very, very quickly, Mitch. I can't even send it your way, as Addict's already walked away with one. But now they've tempered the pace a little bit. They don't want to exec onto that B site. Happy with their pick for now.
Yeah, PC's lurked up A side here. They've still got Brace in middle, so a fair bit of map control in the favor of Vertex. They throw that utility towards B. PZ just anticipating, all right, the CTs are a man down. They're incentivized to push. He punishes the aggression on that secret side smoke. Apoc Dud, that's a great flash to set him up. I think he threw that for himself as well, so he almost tries to make the round-saving play, but can't quite convert those kills because that gun sucks.
Easy peasy. 4 alive. So nice and comfortable with their position. Just the USPs obviously to come out from DGG in this round. So it's just going to be a nice and easy farm.
All right, well, save for DGG. Again, they're kind of on the ropes, and it's looking like a similar scoreline to some of the other maps, honestly, where they just are kind of getting put away. Vertex front running quite consistently, often winning those pistols. That's a nice shot with the USP. Wombat's doing a great job of using the sandbags here, honestly. And backed up by Hugh now. Addict gets out of dodge. Doesn't want to be taking that duel with all 4 of the CTs trying to charge him in middle. And in the meanwhile, Vertex is taking B.
Malta continues his tear. He's been having a very, very comfortable one. This is a nice little stroke of the ego for the man himself. Happy to take that one into the Rust server later this evening, I would say. But Zeph poised to at least try do some further damage. Malta's picked up 2, and he's looking for a 3rd as well. I think he actually potentially has spotted out Zeph onto the other side of this smoke, but Forlex is going to walk on through. A couple of tap shots, and it'll be Forlex with 3. So Vertex, 13-5. DGG finally with an opportunity to fight back here, sort of press down a little bit. You know, Vertex only needing 3 more rounds, but the full buy is going to come through. Zeph's actually not invested in the AWP either, Mitch, so it's just going to be the 5 M4s. Plenty of kits, plenty of utility, enough to get the job done, but yeah, here's hoping that they can at least apply some further pressure, because PZ's actually invested in the AWP as well.
Yep. So, we'll see if he's able to find impact with it in this gun round. DGG need to get themselves rolling early. They do well to take this ramp control. Is Zeph going to aggress there? As PZ peering over the top of the smoke almost catches. Oh, again, almost another opportunity. The flash goes through and Zeph diving on in, punished by Forlex, who is anti-flash. And now a man advantage for Vertex.
Man, oh man. It's just like, they really are trying, but it's just scrappy. It's just not really working out. Like every single which way, DGG just getting trounced upon. Like this is going to be another hard reset, another eco. And Wombat, I think he just has to really consider a save here. But like they're going to be hunting for him, going to be looking every single which way. Calling Wombat, where are you? Having a little bit of a look-see. So otherwise though, look, I got to admit, like it is still, you know, it's hard to hype up this DGG position. It's hard to sort of think about it. But look, they've had a pretty damn good season. They've improved as a team. I think they've definitely got some more improvement to do, as you've sort of mentioned, Mitch. Like, where's that confidence? If they can find it back, build themselves up a little bit, maybe review the structure of the team into the break of the season. Because we don't really have much competition left for the year, do we? It's really going to be about watching that major, wrapping up in December, and then going back to enjoy some time with friends and family, and hopefully the pugs are decent over Chrissy.
Yep. 100%. Reinvestment for DGG. Running out of room here. Not the kind of buy that they were rocking last round, that's for sure. Mitch, down to 3 of these MP9s. Aggression from Hugh into middle. That's a position where you could potentially win a round. Oh no, Gump caught with the util in hand. Malta's doing his B lurk, which he often does. Not too out of character, and you do get a fair good spacing up from some of the other boys. Wombat's doing his best to hold on to the site, and Molly finally pushes him out, but at least he's put it into a winnable position. Unfortunately, they've lost Hugh. He was that player on the flank that might have been able to have some impact. So now you're looking at APOC died over on Jenny. Vertex is still pretty split up. They've got PZ still over on A, throwing a full set of util, making it look like an A exec.
Good flash. Brace sending it in. APOC that unfortunately unable to connect there, and it's just that big old rotation from Zeph. Has to go for it. No real money to back up the rest of it. It's just all dreams at this point in time. As Vertex do start to slowly but surely and convincingly make their way towards that 3-0 victory. At least Zeph got one for his troubles. Brace off the line. Maybe there's a convincing world, but no kit. Brace happy to close that one out. Almost a team ace. Addict picking up a couple. Yeah, Malta's been really having a good fun time in this one, Mitch. But yeah, look, potentially last round. It's map, series, competition, grand final, everything. Year point for Let's Play Live in the Pro League. Have to drink my Biocode Lab in front of some other games.
Yep. Aggression from APOC Dud. He does get traded by Gump, but spacing from Vertex a little bit too good. Now you get the boys on the rotation across. Hugh and Wombat trying to get in good enough positions to get boots on the ground near Jenny into the site. They do a good job of punishing Forlex on the cross at least. So back to a 3-on-3.
An opportunity provided to the DGG side to at least give themselves another crack, another go.
Nice to get PC on 8.
Yeah, massive pick.
What they failed to do last round in the XVX.
The 2 versus 3, bracing addicts, holding hands currently. Just need to pick up this frag onto your Wombat. Doesn't need a peek.
Times it
Nicely
perfectly.
done.
Addict 1-on-3. I back him.
It'd be a nice little way to sort of wrap up shop, I would say, but your Wombat doesn't want to let that happen. He's had a pretty decent game as well, Wombat. I've been quite impressed. You know, he's sort of had some fluctuating results over the last little while. I think he had a real big steamer yesterday, didn't he, in a couple of those maps.
Oh, yeah.
Putting in some decent numbers, being reliable.
Really good game. Yesterday, for sure. Yeah, I think, you know, end of the day, he's not really the player that you want to see fragging super hard because he's not really given a lot of space in the team, right?
Yeah.
I think a lot of the time, if you're a player in the sort of supportive positions, he's fragging up hard. That's probably not a good sign.
Another opening, Mitch. Gump finding a cheeky pick onto Malta. I think Vertex just need to be careful that they don't get too complacent because, you know, if they want to close this one out nice and strong, they can't give DGG the opportunities. He's already down mid.
Yeah, push through mid. Takes one with him. Straight up the ladder. Another good round for DGG. Could be pegging another one back here and potentially cementing their money going forward. Trying to put a little bit of a comeback together and have some better utility going forward. Maybe even get themselves an AWP or a double AWP rolling.
They've just stabilized so late in each map. That's been the thing, right? You know, Vertex have been all guns blazing straight out of the gates. But then as they sort of, you know, skip their way down the straight, I mean, DGD are they've still been losing by 3 or 4 lengths, but, you know, they were all the way at the back of the pack at the start. So they're slowly catching, you know, it's almost like if they had another couple 100 meters, they'd be there, but...
Yeah, I think it's been the case for all of the maps in this series, unfortunately.
100%.
You know, you can't not win a pistol, and no, surely not. At least trade that one back. PZ creeping up on the line. Addict heading through secret side.
Ooh. Booty not thick enough, unfortunately. Does manage to just do away from the shot. PZ and Addict. Again, 2 very big performers here. Addict with a very bold plant as well. Zeph does get the spray. Well done. Good read. Yeah, absolutely. Had to stick it. And now PZ gets away, but obviously with no extra cash. Do they... Yeah, of course they reinvest around it. Just give it a go. It's not going to be great on the utility, though.
Go down to the Galils. Get a couple more of those grenades in there, so not too bad. DGG didn't give themselves an AWP. So relying on that rifle-centric gameplay, which I don't think is that cool at this point, to be honest. There's a progression smoke on ramp side. Pop flash on through to push Zeph off the line. Malta does get hit by the one-way from Hugh. Another man advantage for DGG. Hugh is getting very active in these rounds. Just trusting himself, trusting the aggression in the mid-round.
Patience now. They do clear in. Brace up. Very close. Love that play. Already all the way up there by the time the utility goes down, but APOC Dud does very well to recover here, Mitch. So still, you know, a competitive position. Vertex only need the one more to huff and puff and blow the house down for DGG, but APOC Dud continues to deny. 2 versus 4. Looks like they are going to be able to get up nice and close. Another good flash, but it was a little bit actually too far gone. Maybe APOC Dud just stepped 1 centimeter too far forward. Bomb in the hands of PZ. Not exactly the player you want with it, but Addict's actually already got all the way up towards close here. Wombat's been found. Addict's been doing work here, Mitch. PZ does afford to get the bomb plant here. Addict already all the way up in towards CT. Repositions. Doesn't quite find the additional. Gump's been taken low. Now all the way on to PZ here. 1v2 to try and close this series. They have to isolate. They cannot let the 1v1s happen. And that is the member that was healthy taken down. PZ now needs to do it all. Molotov going to go down towards the ramp here, Mitch. Can PZ close it? Can he be the one to send their victory on towards the Let's Play Live Pro League Grand Finalists? The victors, the winners, and it doesn't look like Gump's got it. All PZ needs to do is just get that one tap. The time, it's not going to be found, and there it is, ladies and gentlemen. Vertex are going to be your victors here for the Biocode Lab Counter-Strike Global Offensive Pro League for LPL Season 2. Congratulations on the 3-0 victory.
Yeah, they didn't drop a map all season, by the way, so favorites for a reason.
Wow.
2-0 Camo, 2-0 Nutty, 2-0 Antic, and then 3-0 DGG. I mean, that's dominance, and that's exactly what you expected from Vertex heading into a league like this. By far and away the best team. There's a reason why they've been representing us domestically. But look, we had a pretty good season, Mitch, honestly. You know, got to see a lot of up-and-coming players. This is like the grassroots league where we get to scout a lot of good players, and I think Vertex have been a beneficiary of that. Even Forlex playing on a couple of teams in LPL has been someone that has shown himself to be a good player and did rightfully get picked up and become a good, addition to this Vertex squad. I'm sure Addict has grinded through a couple of seasons of LPL. We've seen Vertex participate a number of seasons now, and just look how much improvement that they've shown. So,
well, I was literally just about to say, so I'm pretty sure Forlex has gone from middle tier LPL evolution to winning LPL Pro. Like, that's a very, very solid result, and sort of showing that, if the right focus is given to the right player, the opportunity always can be delivered upon some of these other players that, do sort of shine bright. Because I think the Forlex situation was literally kind of super random. It was absolutely by chance. He got spotted. He got identified as a good player. His team sort of let him go free from obviously Arena and give it the opportunity, because as we sort of mentioned, right, like Vertex took a gamble. They removed Apoctad and Rufflecoat, tried to upgrade to Vexite and Valiance. I think Vexite played like 2 officials or something like that before getting scouted by the current Greyhound roster, and he's now qualified for the major. Forlex is coming in, got an opportunity overseas, now got an opportunity to walk away with 6.5K. So we are obviously working on getting an interview out of one of these players. We've set our sights on one who has been fragging up a storm, Mitch, but I guess, do you have any sort of further comments to put down on what we saw from Vertex? Never mind, we'll ask him for Addict. Christian, I want to just say, mate, when did you land this morning? How are you feeling, and have you slept?
Hang on, guys. You're a bit quiet. Let me change your volume real quick. How do I do that?
Have you got us?
Hang on,
might be able to do it on the production side. He's probably got his browser
it's okay.
turned
We roll
down.
with it. What did you say? Sorry. Hello, guys, by the way. Nice to see you, beautiful
Have you got
faces.
us now? Yes, have you got us? Can you hear us?
I can hear you. Yes.
Okay, fantastic. Yeah, so no, everyone who is not aware of it, obviously you guys just had the little bit of a run overseas in South America, which is absolutely fantastic to see. You guys were, dropping the 0-0 Nation sprays as well. So I did want to say you only got in very late last night, I believe it was. So how are you feeling today?
I flew in like an hour before the game yesterday, but I found out that I was positive with coronavirus as of yesterday as well. So, not feeling great today, but honestly, maybe it was a good thing that I got it.
Yeah, COVID buff, dude. So went absolutely ham across the series, and I think Pilski's probably going to hammer you with a couple of questions as well.
I mean, I don't know. I don't have too much to ask. I kind of want to ask, like, what do you think is the difference between Addict in old Vertex and Addict in current Vertex?
I think that guy was a bitch, to be honest. I don't know. I think it's a lot easier now. I just kind of like do what I want to do and like talk. Like, we all know what we want to do, what we're good at and things. And I don't think there's much else to that, to be honest.
Yeah, and I just want to ask you as well. Obviously, this wasn't like a league where you particularly pushed. Like, I'm going back through all your results, and you barely dropped a map all season. I think the closest game was when was actually against Antic when you weren't even playing, and you guys were playing with a couple of stand-ins. So you had a pretty dominant season, but obviously, there's going to be a little bit of a break for not too many games going on, and then there is going to be a couple more like international spots on offer. So I guess my question was kind of like, what's the confidence level for Vertex to, go overseas again? Because I think like, not to be like abrasive or like rude or anything, but obviously the LAN where you guys were able to beat Greyhound, I think that was like a bit of a weird setup, and I think a lot of people, me included, having casted the game, kind of thinking like that. Okay, that was a bit of a weird one. So like, how confident are you guys to be able to just prove that 100% you guys are good enough to go international consistently now?
Excuse me. No, yeah, we're completely like we've been riding this high for a while now, like this confidence wave. Ever since like the end of DreamHack, basically. Even though we got like rolled at DreamHack, we kind of came out like really, really good. We've been like playing really good in practice. We've been playing really good in officials, and we all like kind of know where like we are in the team, like what our job is, and we've been doing it very well. So I think our confidence for going overseas is actually like really, really high. We just have to show it in the end.
Awesome.
Fantastic. Well, look, I won't hold you for too long, Christian. I just wanted to say congratulations, mate. All the best, and enjoy, I believe, a short break of games and watching the major. And yeah, we'll hopefully see you back at the end of the year as well.
And Device is back, baby. Mate. Thanks, guys.
Beautiful. Absolutely love to see it. So there you go. You've heard from the man himself. What a absolute trooper to jump in even after getting a little bit sick from his trip overseas. So all the best for him. And yeah, Mitch, like really for me, it's just about talking to the tune of, congratulations to Vertex and all the other teams that did compete. It was a really entertaining season and I had a blast. Yeah,
it was unfortunate for Addict. He got beaten by cold and he's still getting beaten by another kind of cold. So
no, you didn't.
That happens. That happens sometimes. I think Vertex pretty much unchallenged this season. I think it was a good season to watch because we got to see a lot of up and coming prospects and talents, and even further kind of reinforces my confidence that there's just so many good talented players in our domestic scene at the moment, and so many good free agents. I don't think we'll see too many changes like towards the end of the year. There's not too much left to play for, but I think definitely keep an eye out for, when the next season of LPL CSGO kicks around, you might see some, rejigged rosters. You might see some new kind of free agents, make some teams try and put some good new results together. And if you see Vertex compete again and they're not, just jet setting it overseas, then maybe someone can give them a better run for their money next season.
Absolutely. I think it's an awesome opportunity for a very, very large year for Let's Play Live next year. So make sure you obviously do stay tuned to all the socials. I do believe Amateur, Evo, and Challenger is still going on. So follow along with some of the results there. But for Pro League, for now, Mitch, we are done. So thank you so much to everyone who has watched and supported. And massive congratulations to Vertex. A big shout out to obviously our sponsors in Biocode Lab, Roccat, and Battle Drones. They've been a fantastic support of us throughout the season too. And I guess, from you and me, have a fantastic evening, everyone, and we'll see you back in the next competition.
Crashing in